Hello everybody and welcome to the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event. We are here on the second day. My name is Hayes. I'm joined by Wookie Trick Triple XL. How you doing, my man?
I'm good in you, Hayes, that does the pays, and is going to hit the raise.
I hope so. Maybe the job is so good you give me a raise. We'll have to find out.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see how well you treat me throughout these costs. If you do
Put some
too much
pressure on him,
begging this
guys.
time.
At him on Twitter. All right, guys, everybody, welcome to this evening. We have got an incredibly tight game on the cards tonight between Mist Esports and, of course, Critical 5. Both of these teams were the closest seeds between one another coming into this event. What is this event? This is the EGL One 2020 main event hosted by Evesports, sponsored by Intel and Accio Digital. And it's a 16-team event which saw 4 teams being directly invited, 8 teams reaching the event through the qualifier, and then 4 other teams coming through the wild card. Reese, both of these teams made it through the qualifier, and as I said, they came in with very close seeds between one another.
Yeah, literally 8 and 9. 8 for Critical 5, 9 for other guys over at Mist. So this should be literally the closest game at this stage of the bracket. We're expecting probably a 3-map setup. So the vetoes went Dust 2, Mirage, which is the third actually. I can't remember. But even just starting Dust 2 and Dust 3, literally, those two are going to be pretty close, I think, especially Dust 2. So much time and everything that gets put into that map by so many people playing it in throughout CS. Like literally CS 1.3, I think the map was made. So like it's the most played map in the history of CS, and I think probably in the history of CSGO as well. Even though it had like a bit of a bench for a while, they took it out to do that big rework. But I think that's gonna set the tone for the series. Is Dust 2, so it's gonna be exceedingly close.
You mentioned the big rework that didn't really change anything at all. Yeah, that was the whole thing. Like Dust got taken out of the active map and then map rotation, and it basically just got a huge overhaul aesthetically. I saw we brought the veto up on screen just to confirm the maps there. It was Dust 2, Mirage, and then Overpass is the third map of our series, Reese. So certainly looking forward to this one. And hoping that these teams are going to be bringing the fire. As we've mentioned, these two teams are incredibly closely contested, and both of these teams are up and coming, Reese. These are the guys who are sort of, trying to break into the top 10 in South African CS. These guys have been working really hard. They've got the backing of some decent organizations as well, and they've been putting in the work to earn themselves this right to be in this event now and have a crack at some of the best teams in South Africa. So I'm really keen to see how these teams are going to be faring going into the next few weeks. They also both took part in the VS Gaming main event and finished in fairly similar placings there as well. So I'm really looking forward to this, because when you have 2 evenly matched teams, it's almost always a good game.
100%. And the thing that I like about the finisher with Overpass is, for me, Overpass is generally the better commed and the better structured team will generally win Overpass. So that as a decider map is absolutely perfect, because you can coast through on Dust 2 and Mirage with some pub strats and some more pub sort of CS ideas and stuff. But when it comes to Overpass, executes just are that much harder. Like T to T going through to B, you literally have 2 entries, maybe lowers you can try and exploit to some extent, but it's like very narrow gaps and that sort of stuff, where flashes and util and executions matter a lot to push CTs out of those toxic spots. Like it's a much easier thing to rotate in on for the CTs, having that heaven access. Like if you don't smoke that properly, if you don't have a smoke or something towards graffiti to disrupt those rotations, you're going to get caught out by better teamwork and better planning. So I really like that as that final sort of like check mark to say that this is the better team. But at the same time, who knows, these guys could have some really sort of devilish things prepared, especially for Mirage. I think we'll start to separate the men from the boys, as it were, and get that a more clear idea of who is gonna come out on top. Well, we'll have to see how closely contested Dust 2 is primarily. But yeah, it's a nice map pool. It's got some sort of stable general start offs, and then overpasses that like wild card entry, which we do like here at EGL One.
Yeah, it's actually quite a contrasting first two maps compared to the third map, because Dust 2 and Mirage are both very well known for being puggy sort of maps where you can just sort of run around and take aim duels and try and base your success off of how many fights you win, basically, not really playing too structured Counter-Strike. And then when you go into the third map, Overpass, as Reese was alluding to, it becomes way more structure based, and you really need to pay attention to your form and make sure that you cross all your T's and dot all your I's, as it were. But we're about to jump into the game here, the first map between Mist and Critical 5. It's going to be Dust 2, which was picked by Mist. Then we're heading to Mirage, picked by Critical 5, and as mentioned, Overpass will be the decider. This is the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event with a 50,000 Rand prize pool sponsored by Intel. It is all to play for these teams, and let's just take a second to appreciate that we're here right now, because normally the season would have finished by this time in the year, at the end of the big event in October. Then everything starts to just calm down a little bit and pick up again in the new year. But here we are with another fantastic event and some more phenomenal Counter-Strike. So mad love to EveTech and Evesports for making this happen.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. And they sort of, you know, approached me and said, we want to make it as community centric as humanly possible. So that's why we've accounted for, you know, 16 teams instead of a more traditional 8, you know, and done the wild card draw and stuff, so that the guys that are just falling outside of the normal, you know, catered brackets get an opportunity to experience a large tournament format and play against some of the better teams, that they can then maybe take those demos and learn from them after the fact. That's our whole goal here, is to be as inclusive of the community as humanly possible, give as many people a platform on which to compete and get experience.
Awesome. I love it, man. I mean, let's talk a little bit about the team that we've got here that is running this entire event, because there's actually 6 people outside of the 2 faces, or including the 2 faces you see on your screen right now. But it's not just the only 2 people who are making this show run. We wouldn't be able to do it nearly as well as it is being done if it was just the 2 of us. So we've got a guy called Krim, Mr. Nick, who's running all the production. He's pushing all the buttons. He's got all the wires plugged in, and he's making sure that even if everything is burning around us, that the stream still looks perfectly fine, because that's what really matters the most. Then we've got our mean admin, Mr. Nobody, who's the nicest mean guy in the world. You probably doesn't have a bad bone in his body from what I can tell, but fantastic admin, always making sure that the players are on time. And yeah, fantastic to have him as a part of the team. We've got Casimir, who's doing all the camera work. Call him Cypher, if you will, from Valorant perhaps, but he's making sure that we catch all the action across the board, and also one of the admins in the team. And then last but not least, we've got our video maker, our frag montage developer, if you will, Mr. Crush, who's going to be creating a number of montages over the weeks to come to sort of document, you know, the action we had in the week and just add some context and storyline and just some cool stuff to watch across the board. So that's the team that's come together to sort of try and get this event off the runway and make it as entertaining as possible.
Yeah, and then we had so many, you know, unsung heroes in the background. EveTech, the marketing, literally designed the entire face of the thing, the Evesports logo. They've done the primary sort of branding of the thing. There's our boy Han, who's in the rear with the gear, probably one of the best After Effects specialists in the country. Does some absolutely crazy things that he's capable to do, and shame he spent a couple of nights doing extras. He was actually on hand for the first broadcast day, so that was really nice of him. So yeah, big ups to the EveTech boys as well. They've done a lot to help push this forward. But well, Matt, awesome. I think it's about that time.
It is about that time. Let's get in the game and let us get into proceedings here on Dust 2. We're going to be jumping into the pistol round. Mist on the CT side, Critical 5 on the CT side, and it's going to be all to play for these 2 teams as they want to get off to a good start here in the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event. Remember, we're in the upper bracket right now. Whoever wins this game will continue in the upper bracket. Loser drops to the lower bracket. That's how it works, in case you didn't know. And we are into the first pistol round. What do Critical 5 have in store? They've got 2 flashes, and it looks like they're going very aggressively up towards short right now. K on the angle will be forced back, and it doesn't seem like Critical 5 are in the mood to slow down. 2 flashes to just allow them to push forward, and simple is the name of the game right now for Critical 5 as they look to take control. Vaynant is going to draw first blood, and Deezer finds a kill, and all of a sudden that's Critical 5 who have full control of the say bomb site. Mist are in close proximity though, and will be looking to try and make the 3 take. Captain Tweaks absolutely destroys Clouds, but that's all he's going to be able to contribute in the round. as it's all on Windodge and K to try and get this one done in a 2 versus 4. Such a tough position they find themselves in right now. All of the crossfires are set up, and the pistol round is all but sealed. Windodge, he is going to be in the grave momentarily, and he finds himself 6 foot under.
Yeah, nice little cheeky jump shot that he managed to pull off there. Got himself the Cold Zero style, a nice little check mark, but it's just not going to be enough. Vaynant going huge, getting himself the 3K. They get the bomb plant as well. So now we go into round 2, and guys already have assault rifles.
Yeah, this is it, Reese. Critical 5 preparing for that force buy, perhaps. Making sure that they want to have adequate firepower to deal with what Mist are going to be throwing at them. So it's interesting that Mist actually go for the force buy here, Reese, because Dust 2 is not normally the map that you associate with force buying on the CT side, only because purely there isn't really anything, there's no like logical strategy to utilize when you force on the CT side of Dust. And I'm actually really surprised to see not more scouts on the side right now of Mist. They've got 4 pistols and 1 UMP, and normally you want to get 2 scouts in these situations so that they can try and chip away at the T player's health, but that's not going to be the situation. They're going to be relying on these pistols. I'm skeptical of this buy, to say the least.
Yeah, and it's just not even paying off. Even with the one automatic that they did have, they just get some damage. It is info as well, but now that automatic is down, it becomes a lot easier to sort of wide peek the deagle. If they don't hit the first shot, they're already in a lot of trouble, especially if they do get caught out in the open. And I must agree with the scout pickups as well on this round, because even with armor, you can at least do 70 damage per shot. But here comes the push. They are going to go for the short push. There's a man on side. Can Windows get one? Yes, he does. He gets 2. He gets 3. 3 1Ds. Making us eat our words. Absolutely destroys them. Now it is a 2-on-2. They are going to keep pushing straight through to the side. But do they see the man on T-ramp? No, they don't. So it is a 1-for-1 trade. K is going to wait to see if he can catch Deza as he stands up here. He doesn't quite manage to. Does give up his position. Swinging around with the 5-7. It is a bit of a better close-range weapon, and it's going to get the round. Windows 10. What have you done to this fourth car from Critical 5?
Well, I mean, basically, they've just, shut us up right off the bat. Just hold the phone for a second. Watch what we're capable of doing. Listen, they do get across the line. My point still stands, though, regardless, even though they win the round. Really good work by them, and it's all predicated off of Window's Desert Eagle heroics. The fact that he gets 3 kills there is absolutely insane, and I just missed it because my game froze at that very moment, so I didn't get to see it, but that was just craziness, and I mean, what a
yes, he does. He gets 2. He gets 3. 3 1Ds. Making us eat our words. Absolutely destroys them. Now it is a 2-on-2. They waited on his shots. He hit it with a nice, repetitive timing. Really good patient CS there. Especially at the timing that he popped up. But now everything is on Critical 5, who have a Glock, a couple of Deegs, no armor. They are going to be forced to save here. And even pressuring the man on Cat, they're only going to get 11 damage for their troubles. Info gathered. Very nice position now for Critical 5, or Mist at least, sorry, on the back of that. They are a little bit light on economy, but I don't see them losing this when Critical 5 doesn't even have armor to play with.
Yeah, I mean, the Desert Eagles maybe can give Critical 5 something to work with in this round, but like you said, really not much going for them right now. They've only got 1 smoke as well, so maybe they want to try and make a B split happen here, Reese. You got 1 smoke, that would be my call. Smoke off CT and push through the mid doors, but they're actually preferring to fake the mid B, the B split. They smoke off CT, but there is still K on this A bomb site who's got it under control, got the information, and he's also got himself 2 kills. Got support as well from Windodge, and it doesn't even look like the bomb plant's going to be a realistic prospect as Guap gets taken down as well. And that's Mist stringing 2 rounds together. It was just the eco, but it was clean. And I liked how passive they were in that eco as well. They didn't feel compelled to get aggressive or take any unnecessary fights. They were just waiting for Critical 5 to make the next move. They didn't over-rotate when the smoke came through. And it was just a cool, calm, composed defense. Let's see if they can do it again now against the Tech-9s. It looks like we might have a B-rush on the cards here, Reese. They're charging in with these very dangerous pistols, and the smokes and flashes are going to be raining in. Smoke to extinguish the fire as well, but you can't do much about these bullets. They are just doing all the damage in the world right now. Finally, a kill comes through for Guap, but damage has been done, and the rotations are already coming through. So even if he finds the frag, I don't think a plant is going to be realistic, and he goes down regardless.
Yeah, they get a little bit of damage there. It sort of is nullified by the fact that those two players got the 4 of the kills. So they have to buy armor and util and all of that sort of stuff again, sure, but they can at least have a full buy. I'm actually a little bit confused about those MP7 pickup when they do have quite a bit of cash there, but maybe they've got some special strat. They've made me eat my words once, so I'm not going to be too judgmental before we see what they're going to do. But the long push is on. Windows picks himself up one blind. They do manage to trade the man at cost. So 4v4 does favor the T's a little bit. They do have a little bit of a thinner spread to the CTs, but their positioning should be pretty good for the setup that Critical 5 are looking to push with. They have got a man in pit, and they do have long control, which is a good start, but without a short push, it's going to be very difficult for them to secure this A bomb side, I think. Guaf has got a nice mid position here. It does spot with the AWP, but I think that's going to be the end of that, and they are just going to go in here on long.
Yeah, this is actually perfect for Critical 5 considering the setup that Mist are employing right now. They've got a player up on short getting aggressive, and they've just got Windows spotting the cross, and you will be seeing them, but there's not much you can do about it. What, K? Use an MP7 through the smoke from CT spawn. That's actually just disgusting, and that makes life so much easier for Mist as they gain that one-man advantage. Bomb goes down, Nade does a chunk of damage, but how on earth do Critical 5 hold on to this bomb site? Cage continues to plague them with that SMG, and it's all but easy here, or all too easy rather, for Mist as they get themselves on the bomb. Guaf with the AWP is the only player remaining. He's able to find the first shot, but he's not even going to hang around and try and make the miracle happen. He rather wants to play the long game and save his AWP. Good decision, but nice retake there from Mist.
100%, and the fact that there is a max loss bonus sitting on Critical 5 side, which does help a lot. They can force now around this AWP and actually get some pretty decent setups. As we can see there, they've got quite a, let's say, a 90% util stack and good armor, guns, etc. But leading into the next round, there's only going to be Vaynant who will have a buy. Whereas if you look over the other side to Mist, their economic game is already starting to show like really good dividends. 7k nearly on Querty. They're going to be able to buy AWPs and whatever they need. He could even do a drop. They could do a scout drop. They could do an SMG drop. Gives them just so many options. So they've definitely taken a commanding position in this game. And Critical 5 sort of needs to force a play at this point and make some sort of miracle happen.
I do like this late long take coming out from them. Critical 5 just need to keep things simple and not get too frustrated here. It's still very early days, and this is Mist's map pick as well. One interesting thing that you mentioned is that Mist have a lot of money already, but they didn't pick up the AWP coming into this round, let alone the double AWP. I mean, we've seen teams so frequently picking up that double AWP as soon as they possibly can on the CT side of Dust, but Mist even foregoing a single AWP in this situation right now. So I'm keen to see if that's a theme for the rest of the half to come, or whether it was just this isolated round. Maybe they expected Crit 5 to eco coming into this, so I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Windows, he hasn't got any support, but somehow he's been able to find a double spray down before he goes down, so that is a massive frag trade for him, picking up 2 before he goes down. And now the execute's going to be coming through onto the A bomb site. But Mist have full information of this right now. Blue, he just can't hit the shots through the edge of the smoke. Oh no, he's fluffed the opportunity entirely. Vaynant trying to capitalize off the back of it. He's crept his way up long and he's been able to take down K. So that's actually opened things up slightly, because now his teammates can push up short safely onto the bomb site. All of a sudden, the door on this round has been blown wide open. Plant for long as well. Critical 5 have every chance of winning this. It's an awkward retake for Mist as well. All 3 players coming from CT. They do have util, however. They got a smoke and 3 flashes, so they're going to have opportunities to take these fights. Blue gets completely blinded up. He's able to find the kill before he goes down. Guaf with the AWP now hasn't been spotted. He lands an easy first shot. Can't find the follow-up though. And now it's just G-Spot left against Vaynant, expecting him to be towards long. He has got the smoke to drop onto the defuse. Vaynant is in perfect position with this cross. They will get the kill.
Yeah, really nice way for him to flank, I think, was the better option there. He definitely made a big brain play to go around onto short. I was actually a little bit worried there, because I was like, if you know, the CTs knew that he was doing that flank. They could have just held, and they would have been the round. But they didn't. There was no information, so that became a really nice movement. But now we do see Mist picking up that AWP. So let's see where they're going to set it up. It does look like in B, which is perhaps not better. But look at this push from Tweaks. He's coming through mid. Is Blue going to see him in time? He does. He unfortunately shoulder peaks, and Blue says, "No, sir, you shan't come any further."
Yeah, that's the end of the road for you. You shall not pass.
You shall not pass. Emulating Gandalf there. I don't know if he was
I could do a much better impression. I mean, that's just a calm one, you know. What you should see me do when I'm a few years down.
Sorry, I love nades. And
no, nade frags are the best, man. I'm so glad that they brought that update a few months ago where nades were just drastically improved because they didn't have all the damage negated if they were just caught behind a corner. There is a player windage towards short once again, who was able to get 2 kills in this position last time. This time, he goes down without finding a single frag. So that's slightly problematic for Mist now. They are a player down after finding the opening kill in the round. And that means there's the 1-man advantage for Critical 5, who have pretty much only tinkered with the A bomb side throughout the entirety of this half, and it's going to be more of the same in this round. Nice entry there from Vaynant off the back of the flashbang. It's a very awkward position that G-Spot find himself in there. Like, once the players start pushing up short, you're just so exposed that if you don't find that initial headshot, you're pretty much always going to go down.
Yeah, 100%. That's why you see players like, you know, to bring up probably the short criminal with one of those recent plays that he did. It was too good as Stu 2K. You know, where he played from CT, but he used the edge of the short itself as cover so that he could duck back into CT and not get caught out by that flash. As soon as that smoke came out, I kind of was like, you know, you're not going to be in a good position if there is a flash and the flash followed, he gets destroyed. There's nothing that really he can, like you say, he can do from there. He can't escape. He's just sort of stuck in limbo. And with these guys having gone continuously up short like this, I kind of want to see, you know, Mist react with a bit more control maybe on short. They do have it, but it's almost not deep enough. They keep sitting on top of the stairs. They have called the timeout to try and, I think, restructure this.
Yeah, what I will say is that it feels like their defense on the A bomb side is too disjointed. They're trying to fight long and short at the same time, whereas normally on the CT side of this map, you actually only want to try and take control of either short or long. You hedge your entire bet on either one of those parts, and then you play retake on the bomb sites. Whereas Critical 5 are committing wind dodge to short by himself the whole time, and then they've got a player on the A bomb site spotting long. And I'd actually like to see those two players either doubling up towards short or either committing to long when they have the AWP on long watching for the short cross. So let's see if they're going to be changing their setup here. Has been disjointed in the past couple of rounds. Critical 5 looking to level things up. If they win this round, they gain a nice economic grip on this game as well.
Well, here comes this big stack we were just talking about.
Yeah, they've got 2 players here, but it doesn't really change the result that much. G-Spot gets left high and dry as his teammate Windodge drops off of the ledge. And that's a very nice opening frag for Critical 5, Reese. They don't need to do anything after that. These are looking to take a fight. This is ill-advised. As I said, they already have a 1-man advantage. They don't need to find anything else from this point. This is where now you look to, you either turtle and you just post angles. You wait for the CTs to do something, and then you capitalize on that aggression, or you group up and you execute into a bomb site. You don't need to feel around the map anymore. Yeah, we call this the Adren smoke. We call it the Adren smoke. I'm pretty sure he was the first pro player to make it famous.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's so clever to find that pixel hinge to prop it on. It was a stroke of genius. But now Tweaks is in a position where he's going to have 3 guys pushing him, albeit slowly into the D. He sees the first shoulder. He swings just at the wrong time, and Vaynant says, unfortunately, you are not going to be getting any deagle headshots. Does get some damage out, though. Vaynant on 228 on Cloudza. So we could say this is almost 2-on-3, but cheers, Mist. He gets... Or Quetzy, sorry, gets absolutely destroyed there. And now the CTs of Mist are left in a bit of a horrible position. The bomb gets dropped. So K gets himself 2 and the bomb. They know it's stuck there.
It's still a gap though. No, 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 no. Critical 5, not like this. You can't drop the ball like that, Critical 5. It was just a basic underarm throw. And you just couldn't catch it. Was the simplest of rounds for them to convert. They'd done all the hard work. They got up on short. They pushed through long. It was actually a nice timing on the convergence on the bomb side. They were able to isolate, I think it was G-Spot or QWERTY regardless. They got onto the bomb side. There was even a second smoke there, but they end up missing it entirely. And Critical 5, they just say, all right, well, I mean, if you're going to run into a crosshair like that, we're not going to be passing up such an opportunity. And now Critical 5, they want to try and turn the burners on. They get super aggressive towards long. Vaynon finds the first. He is checking the corner, but he doesn't check it entirely. And Windodge was able to swing out. He finds 2 kills, and he's still alive here. He's got a smoke to keep himself alive for even longer. Oh, no. Critical 5 is making small mistakes, which are costing them so much right now.
Yeah, no, that smoke gap was pretty catastrophic, and then not checking that corner. G-Spot gets another kill to put it into a 2-on-4. He is on 1 HP, so they could blow hard in his general direction, and he'll probably fall over. He's not looking the best of HPs, but with
but he's alive.
Two guys, they do throw one more smoke down mid, so now they only have 2 flashes of smoke, a Galil and an AK. Maybe if they can upskill that second guy into the other AK that was dropped, but they can't because Windows is actually sitting on top of it. So now Blue is put in a position where he is forced to make a play up short, but G-Spot is sitting waiting for him with bated breath, scope at the ready, 1 HP and a dream. He sees the shoulder peek, he takes the shot, it isn't going to connect. Okay. He does get taken down, and Blue converts it into 2, so now it's a 2-on-2. Make that a 2-on-1. It swings right back in Mist's favor.
Oh,
what? They try to force the issue, which just doesn't work. Blue and Deza managed to pull that one back.
What an unfortunate series of events for Mist. I mean, I can't believe that Blue's able to get a double kill when he comes around short in that moment. The fact that he finds the second player is sacrilege. He should have been traded out immediately. And really nice awareness from Deezer as well to just continue to clear out Car as he pushes onto that A bomb site. Couldn't allow Windodge to find a third. Windodge is 15-6 right now, by the way, just like head and shoulders above anybody else on the server. So he's having a lights out map at this moment. But just to continue what I was saying, really nice work by Critical 5. And even though Blue found those first 2 kills, he didn't get flustered. He kept calm, and he heard K rushing up behind him. As you said, wanted to force the issue, but ended up just waltzing into his death. So very nice work there by Blue to salvage the round for his team. And I think Critical 5 deserved that, considering how unfortunate that round prior to the previous went for them. So it's almost like the universe just gifting them one back.
Oh, I think it was more Mist gifting them one back. They sort of overplayed their hand. I don't know why they're not boosting from the CT ramp. I would really like to see them boost someone onto the A site when they have the control, when they are in a 4v2. You know that the enemy team is short on util. The likelihood of getting mollied out of position becomes way less. Instead of staying in that cubby position there next to site, like go onto the site, get yourself into a better position for cover, maybe even goose, you know, as a position, because you've got the man numbers advantage. At least words are hard. You know, they kind of just threw it away, and Critical 5 was there with open hands to take the catch. But now they are stacking towards the B site. There's only K, and he is backed up by his friend Tweaks, who have got pistols and not much else to go on. And here comes the push. They're going to get flashed and destroyed. So they get taken down by Deza. He picks himself up a quick 2K. There's a man on the rotate here. G-Spot got himself into a nice position. If they don't know he's here, he might be able to get some damage. But Cloudza is waiting, sort of in and out, looking into the tunnels. There is a man right at the back, Vaynon, who's got that angle, so maybe not going to be a way to peek at least. But they are now set up for perhaps some exits. So let's see if they can get some kills. Cloud is going to be the first one walking into G-Spot. He manages to pick up the first. So now they know B tunnels might not be the best way to exit. So they're going to try and go out mid here by the looks of things. To get tagged up by QWERTY. Windodge does a couple peeks himself. QWERTY gets taken down. Windodge takes a headshot for his troubles. He does get a nice dink, but it's not going to be enough.
Oh, that's kind of unfortunate for Mist that they don't find more frags than they do. Just the 1 kill in the end. Because or maybe that was the 2 kills, including the player in tunnels. It actually worked out really nicely the way that G-Spot funneled them after he found that initial kill. So Critical 5 were like, all right, well, we can't save through upper dark, so we need to push down towards CT. And that's where 2 players were waiting. So it works out nicely in Mist in the looking for some exit frags, but they can't fully capitalize on it. And they're going to be saving here once again. Critical 5's teamwork has looked superior to Mist's teamwork so far. I'll say that much. They are on the T side of Dust, which means you have a bit more ground to flex your teamwork sort of thing. So you can only judge both teams once they've both been on the same half. But in the early stages, yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Critical 5's teamwork. Communication's looking solid. They're keeping things nice and basic, but still changing things up on this T side. Had the nice late long takes in the earlier stages of the half. Enjoying the way that they're taking map control at the moment. Let's see how they deal with this eco round from Mist.
I must say, I much prefer the setup that they've got going here with the man in pit, a man now towards CT, and then one in Goose. It's almost as if they heard me through the internet somehow. But it does put them in a much better position, especially for early information. So like this now double flash push that's coming out here is going to be called out by the man in pit. He is going to get taken down without any real damage. But now it lets G-Spot know that they're on the way in. It will give Windows some preparation time, which he apparently doesn't need. But Mist gets a 3-man spray down. Is he going to get the 4th?
What?
G-Spot, what are you doing, bro? That's
How
insane.
on earth does he find a triple spray down like that? He was the only player in the team to have a rifle. Oh, it's happened again. Critical 5 have now dropped the ball in 2 rounds already in this half. Rounds that they should have never lost. That they just end up making some small mistakes in that cost them oh so dearly.
Who even knows spray patterns for Galil? I don't. That's
I don't
that's
think
insane.
many people do. It's one of those guys you just hold down mouse button 1 and hope the RNG is in your favor, man.
Well, he definitely got the natural 20 roll on that RNG. Let's put it that way. But now the T's are pushed into kind of a weird position because they did get 2 in a row, but they broke. So they're in a position now where they just don't have real weaponry. They are going to be able to buy next round, win or lose, which is pretty good for them. So I think damage here should be their initial goal. Perhaps a bomb plant would be nice. They do have a scout on Desert, so they can take off some heads with that and maybe secure a site. Mid is wide open from the CTs. Only K checking in every so often from the B side. So maybe a mid to B could work here. Isolate 2 of those players. They don't really have the util to do it, though.
Exactly. I was going to say, the problem is they don't have that util to block off CT, and then you're just going to get picked apart as you try to get across. I really would have liked to have seen them just investing in maybe a smoke or a flashbang here, as opposed to just getting the upgraded pistol. It's something that I talk about all the time on my casts. Just rather than spending the $700 on a Desert Eagle on 1 player, pick up a smoke and 2 flashes, but Vaynant shows that perhaps there is value in picking up people across the board. They don't consider Goose, but somehow G-Spot's not able to find a single frag before he goes down. Critical 5 looking like they might give Mist a taste of their own medicine, unless QWERTY has something to say about it. Still far superior weaponry on the table right now for Mist. They've got 3 flashes, and that HE grenade that has been expended. So it looks like they're still going to be getting the job done regardless here. As K starts to mop up, he knows where Blue is as well. And that's just a mere formality at this point as K does take him down. So normality restored as Mist do pick up the round, even though it looked a little bit sketchy at one stage. And they go up 7-5.
But Critical 5, I actually give even though they lost the round, I give them a sort of win in a way because they planted the bomb, which gives them a much better economic standpoint. And they got 2 rifles down, so they hurt the Mist economy simultaneously. For a save round, that's already, quite a win in a lot of ways. So at least now they have this big buy, coming through. So they've got all of the util in the world to work with now. So now we will get to see a nice big gun round from them. It has been very scrappy this as well, which is I think what we expected in a lot of senses with them being seeded so close to each other. But like you say, the T side, you definitely have a little bit more room. And the Mist's setup on CT was a little sketchy in a couple of rounds. So perhaps Critical 5 learns from that and has an even better time of things when they switch sides. We'll have to see what their setup looks like. But right now, it's hard to kind of say because of how scrappy it has been. But I do think Mist is in the driver's seat to some extent.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think that Critical 5 should be in a better position than they are right now, though, considering a couple of the rounds that they've dropped that they just absolutely shouldn't have. So they are the architects of their own situation right now. As you always are, right? Let's see what Critical 5 can do in the situation. They've tried to bait out some of the util from the B bomb site. Seems like a B split could be on the cards here. Hasn't been something they've employed. In fact, the B bomb site in general has been a no-go zone for Critical 5. Faking towards A once again, but this flank from Windows is massive. He's not able to find the frag initially. He does eventually take down Bob, but he gets traded out. However, the defense on the B bomb site standing tall. Vaynant again gets the trade, but he's left in a 1 versus 2 regardless. Hasn't been able to retrieve the bomb immediately either. Only 10 seconds left here. This is near impossible. Drops the molly to buy himself some time. Does K commit? No. He's tentative that it could be a fake plant. And Vaynant, he does get the bomb down in time. K overextends slightly, ends up being taken down. Vaynant needs to get the reload, and he does get it done just in time. He's going to connect on the shot on G-Spot. Bullet, magazine in the gun, bullet in the brain, round secured. What a clutch from Vaynant. I think he got a quad kill in that round if it wasn't the ace. And that was just such a massive individual performance from him in that round.
Oh, 100%, man. When it was that timer was ticking down and you were like, this is near impossible, I was like, you're actually quite right, because if the CT pushes and made him pull in that moment, perhaps he wasn't looking at the clock, he would have actually won his team the round, even if it cost him his life. So, yeah, no, very good, calm play coming through from Vaynant, keeping his head in the tough position, managing to set himself up nicely. At least it was B. Tweaks does a push long, which doesn't go very well for him in the side note. And here comes a push on short. Are they going to use the double smoke push? They are not going to, because they were picking up kills in mid, which now opens up the B path. So we'll see them pushing out here. They are going to look through to CT, which does mean Windows is going to be in trouble, and G-Spot gets picked up off the A side. So the first fully clean round from either of the teams, I believe. Yes, that is actually the one. So
I mean, it's just been so back and forth in this game right now, and it's everything that we anticipated coming into this map, or even this match, I would say. 7-7 right now, as close as you like. We're gonna have a reset here, as far as I know. When you pull .pp, there we go. We will get back into spawn. So an opportunity for us to just catch our breaths, Mr. Reese, because this has just been such a back and forth game, so high octane, neither of these teams letting go. And a couple of mistakes being made, as you said. It's been a little bit messy from these teams, and I mean you would expect that coming into this game. I mean, neither of these teams are diamonds, you know, no disrespect even in the slightest, but they don't have as much time as like the top teams in South Africa to be practicing, and they're still up and coming individuals, right? Like, these are the guys who are still working really hard and earning their rights in the scene. So it's no surprise that it's looking a little bit messy. Like, with time, they will improve these mistakes, but a lot of good Counter-Strike on display regardless. Tweaks struggling to get going here.
Yeah, shame. He's having a bit of a time, but there's two stars that are standing head and shoulders above the rest. It's funnily enough, it's the men of W. It's Vaynant and Windows 10 who are absolutely crushing it out here today. And now here comes another short push. The gents of Critical 5 have had quite a lot of success there. Vaynant does catch some util damage, I believe, for his troubles. So he's going to be put down to 34. But now the CT's not much util left to work with. 3 flashes and a nade isn't great, but there's 4 mollies coming over on the side of Crit 5. And as they try to push through this long doors area, they are going to have Tweaks to contend with, who gets mollied out of position by one of those useful mollies to get that info. They decide to hold W through the molly. One does go down for his troubles. A little bit more damage coming through. Actually, quite a lot. Cloud now only on 6 HP. Blue with 33. So both of them sort of one shot. There's a man waiting for them on short, so that is going to be cut off as well. Much better response all around here. But that util, once again, picking up another kill. Only 2 left now for the T's in a 3 left on CT. 3v1. Are they going to hold W through the smoke and try and do a smoke criminal? There's no reason to do so. They do have quite a nice setup here. Deza with everything to play for, stuck behind the car. He's maybe not in the best spot here. Windows 10, if he sees the head, he isn't. He's going to look up towards sight. He thinks he's over that area, but he does then catch him.
Oh, the tunnel vision, man. You hate to see it. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. 8-7 Mist are going to be going into the second half with a 1-round lead here on Dust 2, the first map of the series. It is indeed Mist's map pick as well. And
But tight as you like, eh? 8-7.
back
I
and
mean,
forth, yeah.
mega
Totally
back and forth.
I mean,
And
no
it's
team. Okay, Mist won 4 consecutive rounds
yeah.
inside the first 5, but outside of that, it was just like 2 rounds, 1 here, a round 1 there, 2 rounds by the opposite team. It's just like back and forth the whole time. And coming into the second half, the pistol round is certainly going to be setting the tone for either of these teams. Looking at the scoreboard right now, couple players struggling, couple players firing on all cylinders. You can see Vaynant 19-9. He's having a lights out performance here on Dust 2. But Cloud's struggling to find his footing. The IGL of Critical 5 only be able to pick up those 3 frags in the half. Switching across to Mist, we've got Windage, who is just absolutely decimating everybody right now. 22 kills and 9 deaths. He had a phenomenal first half. Can he continue that form coming into the second half is the question. And then Tweaks, with only his 2 frags, is certainly going to be hoping to turn his fortunes around here on the T side.
And as you mentioned there with Vaynant as well, the one other thing that he's got is 18 effective flashes, which is 5 clear of anybody else in the map right now. And it's quite interesting. Yeah, Cloud 5's also got a considerably higher amount of effective flashes, and generally, though, the util damage is then on Mist side. So Mist obviously throws good nades, but not the greatest flashes, is what we're learning here.
Keep in mind, you get majority of your effective flashes on the T side, right? Because on the CT side is where you're getting flashed. So that's and on the CT side you're using util more often. So that tends to be why that ends up happening. And look at this aggression from Team Mist. They just straight out of long, 4 players charging forward, couple in the back lines as well. And Blue just tapping away, does draw first blood, but seems like regardless, Mist are going to be getting themselves onto the safe bomb site and securing the plant. How do Critical 5 go about this retake? All 5 players going to be coming up short right now. This is some interesting decision making. This is actually the strat we saw from them on their T-side pistol. They had 5 players up short, and they threw these exact double flashes. It's going to be the same here once again, and they take the fights. Just so many brawls going down across the bomb site right now. It seems like it's even frags being traded back and forth until Blue just goes absolutely nuclear. Picks up 3 clean 1-taps. Vaynant gets 1 of his own, and it's Critical 5 who secure the second pistol round.
Huge run from Blue, picks himself up the 4K, all of them headshots, does a really nice move jumping off there down the CT ramp, just holding W and saying, come at me, bro. And they couldn't deal with the heat, man. The USP, honestly, I give it the advantage at sort of the mid to long range, but once you kind of almost don't want to get too close to the Glocks, because 20 bullets in each one of them could be a kill, but he just doesn't care and shuts them down absolutely flawlessly. Another force buy though coming out from Mist. They did get the plant.
Their weapons, bro. The weapons they've got: 3 Galils, 2 Mac-10s, full head armor on everybody, and a bit of util. This is absolute nonsense. The CS economy is broken right now, and Critical 5, they've got such a tough job because they've only got 1 rifle on their side and then 4 SMGs. This is going to be tough for them, and they won the pistol round, and they haven't really gotten much as a result. It's just so desperately wrong right now, and something needs to be changed in the economic landscape. However, right now, Critical 5, no time for them to complain. They need to get onto this bomb site again. All of them coming up short, looking to take the fight. Tweaks tapping away with the Galil. Will be able to find a second, but he gets traded out. And Windage trying to do the same with his Galil at range, but the smoke has been dropped on the bomb. And I believe the defuse is being stuck as well. It is indeed by Clouds. Unfortunately, K couldn't land the jump shot. Now it's just Windage left in the 1 versus 2. Still tapping away. Won't be able to connect on the shots. And Critical 5, amongst all the chaos, come out on top.
That was almost a bit of a mistake, though, from Crit 5, because Deza had a kit, and Cloud went for the stick without a kit, obviously.
I didn't even notice that.
I looked there because I was like, I know the CTs have a kit, but it's not on the bomb. So he had the kit, and he was actually busy defending. So that was almost a misplay, but the 10-second defuse does come through in the smoke. I was liking the man in pit with the Galil. He's got good range, you know, he can defend the bomb from there, but the smoke then just shut that down. Util wins the name of the game once again. T's pushing up short. Tweaks gets himself 1. Blue gets the trade. Blue gets a second. Absolutely destroying 30. He gets himself a third. He goes in with the USP and gets a 4th. He's absolutely destroying them at the moment. And Clouds comes in to pick up the last one. Huge round there from Blue.
Yeah, Cloudsy's just like, bro, listen, can you just like give me like 2 seconds to catch up to you? I also want some of this action, bro. But Blue, all by himself, just getting so much done. He had a teammate that got taken down fairly early, right? Before he got all those frags, and he just stands tall, controls that area of the map for his team, and that was a massive individual play by him as well. Because if he goes down there, Mist have a clear avenue of entry onto that A bomb site. So great work. Now Mist taps the eco with the Desert Eagle. They catch Clouds in no man's land, and they're just going to continue to hold W after finding that kill. Nothing slowing them down right now. They've also got a smoke for the cross, but one smoke is not enough to get across safely. And now we're going to be seeing that effect starting to come in as they take the fights. I don't know why they haven't used one smoke at least. It's actually because it's on Windodge, and he's flanking through mid doors. Takes Deez's head clean off, but he gets brought down to 1 HP as a result, and Blue's going to be catching him off momentarily as well. So now it's very tough. How on earth do Mist get across onto the bomb site? And I asked that question, but they have the answer. It's simple. We just run across. No questions asked. Kay's able to get a kill as well with the AK, but he doesn't have armor. However, that's not going to be changing anything. He gets another frag. Vaynant, the only player left in this 1 versus 2, but he only has 1 more point of health than he had his opponents to try and take down, and he gets taken down by Kay as well. Oh my god, another round lost by Critical 5 that they shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, they just went pear-shaped. Like they knew exactly where all of the Mist players were. They had the setup on short. They weren't watching for a flank, which was the first mistake. You kind of always got to leave a trailing arm behind you in these instances, especially on an eco, because of these kind of plays. It's sort of, I don't know, I can't even tell you what really happened to them, but here comes a huge beat push. But Vaynant is in position. He does manage to get out 1 kill, get in some good damage. A really nice change of pace here from Mist, identifying that they would do a heavy A stack, and this might be an opportunity. They get the hardest bomb site to retake. Without a plant just yet, the util is going to delay them, but here comes QWERTY. He is going to plant kind of sort of for tunnels. It's not the best plant in that position. You wanted a bit more open there for sure, but it's a very, very hard retake here for Critical 5.
Yeah, they've got some smokes and flashes to aid their cause, to try and help them get through into the bomb site. The initial entries is what makes this bomb site so tough to try and deal with. Trying to get through these choke points, and this is why we see it so challenging, because as you push in, you're completely exposed. Blue able to find a double kill before he goes down. Clouds, the only player left, and he gets caught in the crossfire as well. Nice defense there of the bomb sites after Mist find the pot plant, securing the post plant and stringing a couple rounds together now.
Yeah, they get that 2 in a row, which really helps them out. There is some loss bonus on the side of Critical 5. They're going to actually it's almost better just to do the mid rush that we saw yesterday, which is kind of what I'm hoping they're doing. No, they're doing a B rush by the looks of things, which is going to be interesting. It does mean that K is about to get a lot of company. He hears the footsteps coming through. He's in proper position. Spray gets himself a 4K. Is he going to get the D? No, he doesn't. He misses the ace by 1, but it does mean that A is now completely open. Blue will have his choice of weapon, which he picks up an AK, which is obviously going to try and jam out of the round now. I don't see him pushing for this. If he does, it'll probably be just for exit frags. So really nice spray down though from K, getting himself that 4K, almost the eco ace. Really, really, really solid stuff. I thought in that position, he might have actually wanted to move down onto the staircase itself, but it probably caught them off slightly. At least the first 2 people that peeked out weren't ready for that. So nice bit of play there from him. Blue does net himself an AK, which is going to help their buy. That's what I was saying. They almost want to rush and lose anyway, because the loss bonus now is going to move on to 3 pips, which does mean they get a 2900 boost on top of their current amount of money, which means with their 1 player not quite having a buy, having the AK with a drop now, it does set them just outside of buying an AWP, which would be really nice to have at this stage.
Yeah, CT side of Dust 2, you want that AWP so much, and they're going to actually get it across to Guaf. So at least they have that weapon at their disposal coming into this round. Like I said, CT side, Dust 2, you want that AWP as often as you can have it, if not the double AWP setup. And it seems like we're going to have a skirmish towards long. Util reigning over, but successful Util usage from Critical 5 has actually segregated these team players. Mist, they're going to smoke that molly to force the issue, pushing their way forward. They're going to suspect Clouds in the corner. He's able to get 1, but should he trade it out instantly? No. Somehow he's able to find a second before he goes down. That's a very big second kill that comes through from him. Normally a one and done position. He converts it into a second frag and leaves his team in an even number situation, but that was better than when he was still alive. They were a man down. Mist, they're not going to be slowing down, however. They're just going to continue forward initially towards to say bomb side. Blue gets the player through the smoke. In fact, he takes it. Vayne and finds one as well. Successful shots through the smoke working out. I see there was a little gap there as well, which certainly did aid their cause. Now it's a 1 versus 2 for Windage, the player who's been doing all the damage for Critical 5 will rather fall. Mist until this point, he finds the first, committing to the spray. He's going to take down Vaynant as well. One of the stray bullets just connects to the brain of Vaynant and takes him down. Oh, wow, that's just so unfortunate.
When his health dropped, I thought, that's it, he's done. But no, he holds that spray. He manages to connect the headshot and get it absolutely mint clutch. I really like the setup from Critical 5.
Yeah.
You had the AWP go off on site, ready for the long push over the top of the smoke. Unfortunately, he gets util destroyed by mollies and nades and all kinds of things landing on his head. But then they get those kills through the smoke, and you're like, yes, they're back into this thing. And then old Windows 10 says, how about no? That was sick. That was sick.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, he's been the player who's just been doing so fantastically for Mist throughout the entirety of this match. He is 28-12 right now. He's died 12 times in 22 rounds, and he's found 28 kills. He's just doing the most right now. A number of clutches as well. Multi-kills aplenty. He has been a shining light for Mist in this series so far.
100%.
They've also got their heavy hitters. Blue, he's picked himself up to 23 kills. He's closing in on Vaynant, who has 26. So there are 2 players who are doing a lot of work for Crit 5 right now, but their opportunities are starting to dwindle, Reese. 12-10 down. It's going to be a save round from them as well, so it should be 13-10.
Yeah, that's
tough for them.
It's a brutal position now for them. They have no economic backbone to really work with. Windows, with that low death rate, is sitting on 11,000. He can effectively drop 3 AKs or drop 2 AKs by himself, one in the next round. There's no question that they're going to have a buy, but here comes the push through long. Tweaks manages to pick up one. There is a shot from QWERTY that rains out as well. Now the Deagle's going to re-peek into an absolutely stacked firing squad. Vaynant hits a really sick Deag as he's jumping over onto the A side. Manages to pick himself up an AK, but is it going to be enough? Tweaks decides to go for the run. There is an AWP and an AK looking at him. He pushes himself into the Gandalf position, but QWERTY is ready for it and picks his head clean off.
Yeah. Decent work there. At least a couple kills coming through for Critical 5 just to inflict some economic damage, but Mist are looking pretty right now. They've got quite a lot of money on a number of their players. They're 13-10 up. They've got the confidence behind them, and it's Critical 5 who need to put a stop to the momentum that Mist have found on this
team rounds in a row, eh?
Yeah, I was going to say they've won 5 consecutive rounds. It's the first time either of these teams have won 5 consecutive rounds on this map so far. And it seems like it's going to be a bit of presence towards long in the early stages of this round. And then perhaps a B execute's going to come through here from Mist. You can see all the utils being lined up, and they're not wasting any time. They're just going to be charging straight in. Vaynant, though, cooped in the corner, will be able to find a double, and Windows isn't going to be trading him out. He doubles back, and that's the last thing you want to see when you're his teammates charging forward and you see your teammate with the bomb in his back turning around, shift walking, just like, yeah, that's a no-go zone. We need to find another way to try and get into this round. It seems like it might be the double pump executes onto the B bomb site. Vaynant trades out for the AK, or rather the AWP, because he's been brought down to 19 health. He wants to have that weapon that will allow him to just fire off a single shot and get the kill. And they're still concerned that he's in the corner, but he has repositioned himself onto the platform. With the AWP in hand, he's going to land the shot onto Windage. Does the trade come through? They know where he is, but it's a tough position to navigate, and he just pops his head up, and he finds the frag on QWERTY. Guap coming through with the flank up lowers will be able to take K down as well. It's 13-11. Critical 5 back to winning ways, courtesy of that strong defense on the B bomb site by Vaynant. He's up to 32 kills now.
Yeah, that was a really good position for him to have put himself in there, right next to that smoke. The T's expected absolutely nothing, but Vaynant was sus, and he was definitely the imposter. Picking himself up those 2 kills but without any reply. Swap out to the AWP on him, which is a really good idea. He's only got 19 HP. Might as well give him a gun that's one and done, so he can sort of trade like that. Fastest bullet first, and twice in a row he gets it. And the thing that sort of confused me is the fact that the AWP on the side of Mist wasn't able to hit him there. He re-peeked that exact same angle. He just crouched and stood up. So maybe a little bit of a misplay from there. Then and why even push into that AWP if you know it's there in the back of Plat? You've got to peek into the angle. He's already set up. Like, not the best of plays compared to what we've seen from them in previous rounds. But they do have a full buy thanks to that huge amount of economy that they had stashed away, and they are going to be reverting to a long play. Tweaks is in lowers here, getting himself some info, manages to pick up a little bit of damage onto Guaf, so not a complete loss from his end. He has got quite a lot of util in hand. I'd like to see him throw some nades and flashes onto short to string up those players even further, but the T's are so aggressed. The CTs aren't ready. They do pull back for the util, which is going to come in now. But now they've put themselves a little bit on the back foot. There is the man K in pit with the AWP already waiting. The plant is set up for him. The T's have a decent spread over here. Now everybody in any position that there can be multiple sort of util pieces thrown. There is one here that's going to come out in the form of the napalm, which they're going to opt to throw to the left of the use. I think that may have been a bit of a mistake, but here comes the push. They do manage to pick up the first. Wow, they pick up the second. The AWP has a lot of work to do here. Queti dancing around in the smoke. They haven't found him just yet. He could be the imposter that we're looking for. He doesn't quite get the lineup in the smoke. And that is going to be a sick retake with the AWP in pit. Against the AWP in pit, they still managed to get the retake onto the side. Bainant being huge with a 35, dude.
Yeah, I will commend Critical 5's retakes on the CT side. They've looked pretty decent, man. They've just kept it really simple, and you can see there's a clear plan for them. When they're retaking A, they all come up short, as much as they can at least, and it works out perfectly for them once again here. Trading each other successfully, nice util usage, nobody flashing one another, everybody on the same page. It's pretty decent, and they've actually forced Mist into an eco situation. Or rather, Critical 5, yeah, they've forced Mist into this eco situation, and Critical 5 should be leveling things up 13-13 here, especially considering that Guaf has already opened things up with the double kill.
Yeah, that bank got chewed up very, very quickly with those losses. Unfortunately, they sort of had to full buy twice, got themselves an AWP twice sort of setup, and that alone is nearly 10k down the drain. So yeah, now they're really on the back foot, and Critical 5 once again back into the driving seat. This should be a quick one. There's going to get pushed on the door. Vaynon there to back up. He is going to get the 2k as they come through. So a bit of a formality there to take it back to 13-13. But now as we look across at the money, they can buy this round.
Yeah, that's exactly what Critical 5 needed, a clean anti-eco round, because look at how much money they now have at their disposal. They've got that buffer in place. If they lose a round, they still have enough money to buy up in the round thereafter. Scores level 13-13, and Guaf can't capitalize on the play across from T-Spawn. He's going to look to get aggressive here, pushing towards Lower Dark. K hasn't heard him, and Guaf will be able to land the shot. Clouds takes down Wind Dodge as well, but unfortunately Guaf can't get out alive. A little bit of a misplay there from him, I reckon. I think he could have taken his time a little bit more, or at least used some util to try and help himself get out. Off the back of it, though, Mist recognizing there might be a slight chink in the armor towards middle. They still have plenty of time to work with.
Had an AWP and another plan, but as they push through, Vaynon is in the position. He doesn't manage to pick up two, but Desert is there.
What a fantastic timing on him as he pushes through the smoke. I love it. So often we'll see players scared, but he knew his teammate was taking a fight. His teammates had even found a frag, so he capitalizes on that, pushes through a smoke, and finds the all-important double kill of his own. My goodness gracious me. Wookie. Vaynon is 38-16 right now, and we're only 27 rounds into this, about to go into the 28th. He is playing absolutely lights out Counter-Strike right now. And Wind Dodge just hasn't been able to keep up. He had 28 kills about 4 rounds ago. He only has 29 rounds, where Vaynon's continued on his run of form.
He's absolute rampage at this point. I'm waiting for the annual tournament announcer to pop up every time he gets a kill and just do a mega kill or something to that effect, because this guy's he's just smashing Oaks at the moment. There's almost nothing they can do about it. He's just in the right place, right time, right position, right util, etc. It's not even those frags. I think people will look at it and just be like, he has aim. He's doing everything right at this point in time, and Mist just can't disrupt his flow. He's in the flow state and he's smashing. But here comes a quick short play coming with K in front. They do see the man towards ramp. Cloudza is going to pick himself up. 3, 4. Let's see if he can get the eco ace. There's only Windows 10 left, their star player. Is he going to be able to pull off some magic here with a Mac 10? Perhaps channel some 2014 Olaf Master with the Rec 9. I just don't see it happening though, Maddie.
Yeah, I don't have much faith at all. He's had some audio cues though, and he's going to look to try and come around the corner. Clouds, is he on for the ace? He absolutely is. Nice and clean ace from him. Those first 4 kills were fantastic. And he finishes off the 5th one as well. 15-13, yeah, Critical 5 find themselves on map point of their opponent's map pick, Reese. Very important position they find themselves in right now, but they're going to be going up against the double AWP, which is not something we traditionally see on the T side of Dust. Both K and QWERTY picking up the big green gun, looking to potentially find a player on the cross, but not going to be able to do it. Guaf has been challenging quite a lot towards mid doors. He's going to do it once again, and he ends up being taken down by K. So that was one too many coming through from Guaf, and it leaves his team a man down. 4 versus 5 on map point. What do Mist bring to the table in this round, though? That's the question. They've got the double AWP set up. How do they approach this? Do they give the AWPs time to potentially find some picks and create some openings? They've already found the one pick. How do they capitalize on that pick? That's my question. What do they do now to force Critical 5's hand?
They've got a considerable amount of util. There's a nice pickup. That'll help a lot with K picking up his 2nd of the round. So now it's a 3v5. Now we know, as the Ts, that the CTs are now spread thin. So perhaps a mid to B play as they are setting up for at the moment. They are going to have to test with Cloudza from the front. And there is a big flank coming in from Blue, who's going to get himself some information. He starts to take some taps down mid. He is able to pick up QWERTY, but now it's just going to be here. But Deza, he gets himself 2. What has happened?
Not like this. It was a 5 versus 2 that's turned into a 2 versus 2 all of a sudden. Critical 5 also in a good position to make this retake a reality. Flash and Molly on Blue. He's going to be coming through tunnels. Does he catch them off guard? The flash is perfect. K completely blinded up, but unfortunately Blue doesn't push forward. K misses his shot though, and that means Blue can find the frag. He finds G-Spot rooted in the corner. He's going to take him down as well. 16-13, Critical 5 win the first map, Dust 2, and they were behind. They had to win 6 consecutive rounds to get to this point. They were down 10-13, and they win the map 16-13. Once they shifted into gear, they were able to get the ball rolling. Props to Critical 5. That was a nice turnaround from them.
Yeah, really good CT side setup coming out from Critical 5, putting their better aimers and stuff in the right positions, using their other support players util wise. I mean, I think Cloud's at 38 effective flashes. That's more than 1 effective flash per round, which is insane to think, right? And a really nice conversion for them. You know, you spend that money on that util and it actually did produce results. Really good comeback from them. Like, I didn't actually, when the 2nd kill came through from K, I was like, they've got this. They could just group up, shove towards the site, and they should be able to take it. But Critical 5 had other plans. That flank from Blue netted them 3 kills, which was a really nice move. The 2nd big flank he's done that's actually netted them the round.
I was about to say, like, just like you mentioned, Blue bailed them out of so many dicey situations that they found themselves in, with a couple multi-kills to get his team back into winning ways. So mad props to Blue for all those high impact frags that he found, and Vaynant for just having a crazy map in general. I think he didn't get the 40 bomb by the end of it, but 38 kills in regulation in itself is still an amazing feat. And he was fantastic throughout the whole map. It's not like he just had one really good half and then started to taper away, which is what we saw with Windage. Unfortunately, Mist, the architects of their own demise. They were up 13-10, but they couldn't close out the map. However, what I will say is I feel like the deserved winner won that map in the end. Critical 5, they lost 3 rounds in that map alone that they should have won, whether they were anti-ecos or like 5v3s where they had control of the bomb site. They definitely dropped the ball a number of times, but they still won the map, and that's what matters the most. So, map 1, done and dusted, 16-13, Critical 5. They pick up Mist's map pick. We're going to be heading to Mirage next. This is the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event. We're in the upper bracket right now. We'll be bringing you map 2 in a couple of minutes, but before then, we're going to be taking a short break, and we'll see you guys afterwards. Welcome back to the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event hosted by Evesports, sponsored by Intel. We are in the middle of a very or a very close match rather between two tightly knitted teams. It is Critical 5 versus Mist going head to head right now. We just came off the back of Dust 2 where Critical 5 won 16-13. It was also Team Mist's map pick. Now we're going to be heading into Mirage, which was of course then Critical 5's map pick. Reese, do you think we're going to be seeing more of the same, or are we going to map number 3?
Well, considering how scrappy most of that last map was, by scrappy I mean back and forth and back and forth. Like these guys went around, we thought they weren't ever going to have a position in, and then the other team went around, we thought they weren't going to have a position in. It's sort of hard to say. I think if Critical 5 continues with the momentum that they showed towards the end of Dust 2, it could even be one-sided, because once they got underway, as you noted, they just started to decimate, and there was almost nothing that Mist could do right. They were losing 2 to 3 players before even getting contact near a site. They were getting destroyed in mid, lower B. Even before they could get onto short at the top of mid, they were getting knocked off. So I think just based on that, it's almost like Mist has a lot to come up to, and it's Critical 5's momentum to lose. Just based on the previous result and how it ended.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that narrative. I think that Critical 5's teamwork looked better than Mist's teamwork. I thought for moments Mist's individuals looked a little bit more convincing than Critical 5's individuals. So it's pretty much like a back and forth in that regard, a bit of a trade-off between the two teams. But we all know that teamwork trumps individual skill, right? So no surprise that Critical 5 got across the line. Once they started to find their footing, they were able to coast home on the CT side of Dust. Coming into Mirage, their map pick, I'm looking forward to seeing what they've got on the table for us. Mist, they're desperately going to be wanting to take this to a third map as well. And their individuals are just going to be having to stand up a bit more, right? The likes of Tweaks, who really struggled. It was pretty much only, I think, Windage and K that were the most convincing members on Mist. And QWERTY, along with G-Spot, had their moments as well. But it's just going to have to be a more well-rounded team performance coming out of them heading into Mirage.
No, definitely. I think, look, Vainan definitely 38 kills, did a huge bit of lifting for his team. But then again, you look at how the rest of the team played, they were setting up with Util constantly to give him that opportunity to flex those aim muscles. And there was kind of the same thing happening on Mist with old Windows 10. I absolutely love that nickname, just so clear. It's fantastic. Windows 10 was... apologies for my nesting neighbors over here. But Windows 10 was so strong, through the earlier parts of the game. He was about 3 to 4 kills ahead of Vainon, but just almost got fatigued and just fell off. He wasn't doing those big impact plays anymore. And then when guys like Cloudza came online, with that ace on short, even though it wasn't eco, they still didn't lose a player there. So the economy got stronger, and then they just started to tumble over Mist. So I think Mist, honestly, if Mist keeps it scrappy, if it's scrappier with Critical 5, I think they have a better chance. But if they aren't if they let Critical 5 start steamrolling, I don't think they're going to be able to stop them.
Well, we're going to be finding out momentarily, as they are just going through the motions right now. Knife round to determine who's going to be starting on which side. And there we go. No knife round necessary. Oh, we're restarting the knife round. I don't even know what's happening right now, but they will eventually stab each other. Sides will be established. and the map shall commence. This is indeed Critical 5's map pick. And coming into this, we did note a number of times how closely contested these two teams are. Both had very similar seedings. They finished with, I think it was seeds right next to each other, essentially. So this was theoretically speaking, this was the closest matchup of all the opening games in the upper bracket. Winner progresses through to the next stage of the upper bracket. Loser drop down to the lower bracket. And we're just resolving something quickly before we continue with things. It's just a bit of a server end issue. But yeah, welcome everybody to the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event. My name is Hayes. I'm joined by Wookie Triple XL, and we're going to be your casters for the next 7 weeks. And yes, that's right. We have got 7 weeks worth of action. We're going to be playing this double bracket out over those 7 weeks, and eventually, at the end of them, we will have a victor. We will have our first champion of the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event. They will be taking home 25,000 Rand as well for their troubles. It's a 50,000 Rand prize pool in total, sponsored by Intel. So everything to play for. And Reese, what I really like about this format is it's not like we have an elongated league with matches that don't really matter that much. It's just like trying to formulate the seedings for the playoffs. We just start like basically in the playoff stage with the double elimination bracket from the beginning, and we stretch that double elimination bracket out over 7 weeks, which means we catch so many matches, we catch so much of the action, we get all the storylines, and it just allows us to cover as many games as we possibly can. Whereas normally we see double elimination brackets played out over the space of a weekend, and it's just like so high octane, so quick, boom. It all just gets played out so quickly. You catch maybe 6 games over the weekend, and that's it over. So I really like the approach that you guys have taken with this.
Well, thanks, man. It was part of the consideration. We get to stream a little over 20 games this way out of the 32 that will get or 33 that gets ultimately played throughout the tournament. So it's 60% of all of the action will be brought to you live here on Evesports YouTube. Yeah,
and just on that note, subscribe to the channel, please, guys. It's a new YouTube channel that was just recently created, and this is where I'm assuming all the streams for the next 7 weeks are going to be as well, Reese. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. It's a good idea. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, right.
Nice. No, yeah, 100%, and we will have more esports in different titles coming. It's all pretty much going to be brought to you through
don't
your
say that.
channel.
Just take all the money you guys have got and put it in CS. No other titles necessary.
We gotta look after everyone. We gotta look after everyone, man. We can't just throw it all in CS.
I'm just totally selfish.
People that know me and have been around with my 10-year coin, people know, okay, that I love CS.
Oh,
it's
little flex on the 10-year coin there.
Of course, man.
Just make sure
use my age for something, yeah.
Okay? You get that in there.
You know,
God.
But it is nice to get into new titles, you know, perhaps some Rainbow Six Siege in the future. We can look at Valorant, we can look even at Dota, League of Legends, see where the peeps are most passionate, and then supply them with you know, the opportunity to get broadcast, to have continuous tournaments that then reward them with decent prize pools that they can actually, you know, almost pay off some of their time. Because I think at this point in time, especially even globally, CS is at the highest attention point that it's pretty much ever been at for the last 3-4 years. It's just been this escalating amount of attention from coaches and players and tournament organizers as well. So it's sort of to get into that pool and carry on with it. But it does look like we are finally live with the last restart of the knife. Are you gonna cast it this time, Manny?
Oh no, I don't cast knife rounds.
Come on, I casted the last time, bro.
That's a no. There's literally nothing you can do to get me to cast the knife round. So, I mean, you're welcome to. You know, you're going to end up on Reddit or something like that. You know, watch this clown cast the knife round. Ha ha.
Won't be the first time, man. So, on the T side, we have 2 karambits. 1 standard knife, I believe, a bayonet.
Oh, no, not like this.
I don't know what QWERTY's sporting. What knife is that? Help me out here.
Do we call that the box cutter?
He's got the box cutter, okay.
Yes.
And then if we look over on the CT side, we have 2 plebs with standard knives, a bayonet, a gut hook, fish knife. Gut
knife, that's the one.
And then the top one is also a bayonet of some description.
So Deezer's got the M9 bayonet, and it's very pretty.
Okay.
and then Guaf just has the standard bayonet, the lesser, the less cool version basically. It's like the younger brother.
100%. So the guys are posturing in here. The first man goes down. It is going to be K. Windows picks up the third. The fourth is coming through for the T's. There is only Deza who's on the run, but he gets absolutely prison shanked by QWERTY, and that is going to be the round going the way of the T's. So they do get to pick sides.
I don't condone this for everybody who's listening right now. Just so we're all on the same page. I do not endorse this knife round casting.
Hey man, I'll cast an old lady. I'll cast an old lady doing a gardening, okay? If I have to.
Oh man, just the passion, it's there. Doesn't really matter what it is.
Well, they do get the pick of sides. They did have the more expensive knives, so at least they spent their money wisely.
Yeah, I mean, hey, money spent wisely is a good thing, right? You can.
Shame I've killed your spirit on this, haven't I, man?
No, I actually lost. I to be honest with you, I got a bit sidetracked. I'm sorry. I got a bit distracted, but we're just waiting for the knife round to kick off, and that's exactly what's going to be happening now as we get into the game here. Critical 5 leading the series 1-0 at the moment, courtesy of that 16-3 win on Dust 2, which was Mist map pick. Now we come into Mirage. It's going to be Mist on that CT side. Critical 5 on the T side. What sort of a pistol round do they have in store here?
I really like the Molly pickup from Tweaks, eh? As we go into this live round, a lot of util actually on Mist side, but they're going to have to rebuy it because there's one more restart install from our server. But I hope that's the last of it. It does seem that we may have bugged it out slightly, but everything seems to be back on track. Is it live? No, they're asking for a pause again.
Oh god, what is going on right now?
What have we done? Vaynant's going
man.
cowboy.
It's just the jitters coming through. There's so much power on the server right now that even the server is struggling to keep up. But I'm gonna go with that. It's like power levels over 9,000 or something along those lines, I think.
Casper has asked them just to have a chill because it seems like the server is jammed. But hopefully it's...
Seems like all our issues are resolved and we are now into the pistol round. Critical 5 with 3 flashbangs, 2 smokes, and a P250 on Vaynant. And on the side of Mist, they've got a Molly, a flash, and match is not live. So I'm not going to cast anymore, Reese. I'm done. I'm hanging up my headphones. Will not look like a fool once again. This is just toying with my emotions right now.
Yeah, I think we break it a little bit, to be honest.
Well, while we just wait for the server to figure out what's going on, we can get our ugly mugs back on screen and just talk about this game a little bit more. And talk.
Hey, speak for yourself. I shaved. I cleaned up. Don't call this mug ugly. Yes, this mug is ugly though. If you want to see Fat Reese from 2011, there he is.
Oh, how's it going? I prefer my mug actually, Reese. I've got llamas and cactuses on my mug.
Yours is actually pretty cool. The llamas, I can get down with that. They're doing a lot for me. Dude, that's a lot of mug as well, eh? Are you putting like 3 coffees in that thing?
This is my mug I use for casting because it just keeps me going. Especially when I expect like very closely contested games. And I expect to go, like 3 maps and multiple overtimes. That's when I bring the big mug out. And that's what I'm anticipating tonight. I would be surprised if we didn't go to a 3rd map, let alone some sort of overtimes as well.
So we're just waiting for Casper to have a poke around in his back end and figure out where we broke it. But I think it was almost definitely our fault, not the server itself, to be quite honest with you guys. But we do have the professionals on the case, so he'll probably get it sorted in the next few moments. But going back to the game and to these 2 teams, I think I don't know, after that momentum that Critical 5 had last time, I don't have the most confident feeling for our boys Mist unless they can get back to those very tight sort of winning ways and get those really round wins, when they're coming from behind or on saves. Like you say, the pistol is going to decide a lot for the opening of this map. Being my rage or Dust 3, as I've affectionately called it. It's actually gone through quite a lot of iterations and changes since 1.6, at least compared to the like Dust 2, like you said, which was just a graphical sort of reskin more so than an actual changing up of the map dynamic itself. So this is I think it's in its best format, Mirage, at the moment though.
Just about Dust 2, like them flipping the doors at the B-bomb site had more of an impact on the way that the map was played than the entire overhaul that they had when they removed it from the map pool. Like, so I'll just say that off the bat. But what I will say on top of that is that, like, I think it was the community that were like their own biggest enemies, because they were all the ones who spread the narrative that it's like, when Dust 2 comes back, there's going to be all these big changes. It's going to be like a completely different map. No, guys, they didn't call it Dust 3. They just said they're upgrading Dust 2. They're not making massive changes. Just like change a barrel here, like add a car there. Nothing drastic. So that like change on the doors was even bigger than just the entire changes we saw when they removed the map altogether. Anyway, just waiting for the server to resolve itself here. We'll be kicking off with the second map once again. I see Hardcore Pornage is happy that I evened out my headphones. I did it just for you, bro. So I hope you're going to be sleeping a bit better tonight now that that's been resolved. Nick, good to see you, my guy. And 2-4, yeah, thanks for the suggestions on the production, man. Always looking to improve, and we always want feedback from the people watching the streams, because ultimately that's who we're doing these events for, the people watching at home, the spectators. So yeah,
and the players. Don't forget about the players, man.
Nah,
I just got to jump in there.
A side note.
No, honestly, it's about. I'll tell you the sort of mission statement from Evesports is, you know, EveTech taking the opportunity to give back to the community that supports them so, you know, much and that sort of stuff. And this is the next phase of support back to that community. It's why they have, you know, streamers like Dangerous Dave and Chloe and Marksman who, you know, promote new games and give out beta keys. Actually, for Cold War, Dave did a giveaway thanks to Prima Interactive as well. So there's a lot of really nice sort of promotional stuff, and this is the next phase. There are actually more phases to come, but I cannot speak at length on them the way I can about Evesports. And on that note, actually, something that Matt gets to do next week is
something I was going to ask you about.
Stuff.
Okay. Have you got any more clues for us about what this free stuff might be, though? I feel like you need to give us another nugget of information.
Well, you know that guy Gaben who made this Valve thing, you know, his Steam platform has quite aggressive sales that come through. So there might be a little bit of extra funding.
My bank account has been on the receiving end of a number of those sales.
Exactly.
Okay, so maybe it has something to do with that. Okay, well, there's an indication, guys. Make sure you join us next week for some really sick giveaways coming through courtesy of EveTech.
But wait, there's more, because there is an additive.
There's more.
Okay. I'm organizing something that has to do with CS, but I want to leave that for reveal on stream on Tuesday. So you'll be able to actually have like a little video playing, and you can show the boys and girls what they will be able to win.
Okay, well, we're going to be finding out. Back into the game we go here, because it seems like the pistol round is finally live as the issues have been resolved. We find ourselves on Mirage, Mist versus Critical 5. Critical 5 on the T side. Util coming in. They're going to be taking middle control here. What do they do with this mid control is the question. It seems like they're just going to be streaming up catwalk towards this B bomb side. No questions asked. 4 players up cat, looking to try and barrel themselves forward, but there is 3 CTs on the defense right now, so these Critical 5 players are going to be met by a wave of defense. They've been able to trade evenly so far, but K is still in position, not for much longer though. He goes down. However, the trades still rolling through for Mist, so they're going to have an even numbers situation to try and make this retake a possibility. 2 versus 2. Both of the players are going to be coming through markets. No armor on Tweaks, and there's no kits on either of these players as well. I didn't spot if there was one on the bomb side, but now it's just all on Windows, and they know exactly where he is as well. Trying to make his way forward. They're going to be double peeking. He's tapping away. He's brought Deezer down so tantalizingly low. He wants to continue to force the issue here. Deezer just needs to stay alive for as long as he can. Just fancy on the pillars. How is he still alive? No, Windows. You can't afford to miss all those shots, and it is just too little too late. Unfortunately, it is the end of the road for Windows. He just wants to try and get a knife kill, but it's not going to be happening. They both died to the bomb explosion, and my god, what did we just witness?
we witnessed really good patient play from Mr. Guaf and Mr. Deza, setting themselves up, not over peaking. I really liked the peak by Guaf onto the man in window. He heard the jump, he went for the info, saw that he was actually still tucked inside the market position itself, and manages to pick up that kill. A really nice little play for them up cat. The CTs left it sleeping though. Their information delivery seemed to be very slow because their rotates only started happening when the T's were already up cat, and they're just going to do it again. They're just rolling into the exact same play. They have a nice smoke setup. They are just going to push through. They do get flash, which is just going to slow them down just that little bit, and here come the CTs now rotating in onto the bomb side. There is a sick shot coming out from Windows 10. He manages to get a headshot with the D, but it's going to now slow down as they try to creep up on the site. And do they go for the retake, or do they just look for some damage?
Yeah, I think a couple of exit frags here would be acceptable for Mist. They didn't invest too much into this round. It was just the eco. Although Windows, he's fully invested, so he's not going to have the luxury of the buy heading into the next round. If the team does decide to go up into the gun round with a couple of FAMASas and M4s sprinkled throughout. And you can see he realizes he needs to save his weapon here because he's got nothing to go into the next round with. And Blue, he should be taken down here. Only has 19 health, and he will be removed from the equation. Divided by Blue. Results in 1, right? Something like that. Divide something by itself, you can just remove it, right?
100% quick maths there from Maddie, obviously listening to some skibbity papa on the weekends. Yeah, nice. Look, guys, a good structure there once again from Critical 5 on the post plant, not giving away too much, setting themselves up nicely, making sure that they don't drop the very expensive guns, which is obviously better. And I like that they just actually somehow reuse that play and just like, okay, nobody was watching there, let's see if they're not watching again, and they won't. So nice whole W play. They're going to try for it a third time. Let's see if it works out. Windows 10 in position here. He's going to be able to get at the backs of them. He picks himself up 1 with the Mac 10, which is more than you could ask for at that sort of range.
Yeah, not a bad situation. They're going to try and execute into this B bomb site, but QWERTY's got support from K. They're just holding down the angle, and they're going to be able to find the frags necessary. That's very unfortunate for Critical 5 because Guaf is on the opposite side of the map, and he's already taken full control of the A bomb site. Now he has to try and clutch this out 1 versus 2. And they have an idea of where he's coming from. He does shoot open the vent to perhaps try and fake that he's going to be going towards Catwalk, but he's continuing to make his way forward here through Market. K, low HP on the angle. He's rattled off the shots. He might get taken down. No, he's able to get around the corner just in time. Oh my god, Guaf, no, that is not an option. The cheekiest of plays was attempted, but he ends up being slapped down and asked, what on earth are you trying?
Yeah, no, you're not going to do much when you've been spotted in your position. You know that there's 2 guys, so the second is probably setting up a crossfire at that point. Yeah, a bit too cheeky, as you say. It wasn't definitely wasn't the play, but they're only on the back of a 2-1 deficit. They do have a little cash on hand, so next round is going to be a buy. They managed to get some Deagle armors going, which we've seen what a guy like Vaynant can do with that especially. So we're going to be seeing if he can replicate some magic from the previous map with this. But the CTs do get quite an important round win, and from behind actually.
Let's see if Critical 5 can get anything done with pistols in this round. They've already expended both of their smokes that they brought into the round. Guaf looking at Vaynant. Do you want to boost, bro? You know, you're struggling to make the jump happen from the bench there. I can boost you. We can go back to the old school way of doing it. Very passive from Mist right now as well, respecting Critical 5. Not wanting to take any unnecessary fights up against these pistols and potentially giving away lost lives. Windows, nice shot there from Guaf through the wood, will end up bringing him down as he gets traded 1-for-1. And that gives Critical 5 a bit more room to work with. They edge their way further forward. They now identified K's position. Guaf, he absolutely destroys Tweaks towards default. And he's going to be spotting the player out on Catwalk as well. That is G-Spot, who has been spotted out. And he's not going to get taken down by Clouds. He's able to get around the corner just in time. And he's got support here as well from QWERTY. So even though he gets taken down, the trade will come through. Regardless though, nice round from Critical 5. They're able to pick up 3 rounds, and it was just a mere eco round for them.
Yeah, dude, good damage. Definitely helped their economic situation out to get those couple of kills. They're still short of a buy though, like a real decent heavy buy, and Guaf with a misbuy goes all in, and his teammates just weren't ready. So a bit of a mistake, obviously, coming out there. And I can't help but feel that if they lose this round, it does probably mean that they're going to lose 2 on the trot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that decision to buy the AK when your team's saving if you have maximum round loss bonus behind you, because then you can get a Galil and armor in the next round regardless. But he's not going to have that luxury heading into the next round, so he's going to have to get something done with the AK, if not save it entirely, if it comes to that. Let's see if he can get something done with that hero AK. Once again, critical 5. They're taking it on their post up. K, he's going to get forced out by the molly. He can't find the shots necessary to secure the frag, and in fact, he will get toasted out to a Cinder. Guaf picking up a double kill, one courtesy of the molly and then a second with that AK he picked up, but that's all he's going to be able to find in the round. Unfortunate that he does go down, and Mist end up steering this one home, as it is just Clouds and Deezer left to contend with, and Clouds, he's not looking too healthy right now. Only 6 points of health, or rather 5 points of health left for him, as critical 5 start edging their way up towards the save bomb site. Deezer, he could catch the timing here on Tweaks if Tweaks is caught looking towards top palace. Deezer, he's going to get timinged, in fact, as Tweaks comes out just in time. Doubles up as he finds Clouds as well. And Mist stringing a 3rd round together here. But next round, this is going to be the first full gun round that we've had on Mirage so far.
Yeah, nice bit of opening play there. Guaf did get himself into a good position, managed to pick up that second kill, but then perhaps overextended by just holding W down B, trying to get through the cat area, but then got destroyed, you know, as he came out, one tapped from the QWERTY AK. So it was looking good until it wasn't, and it's generally actually quite a trend with both of these teams. They sort of get into a good position and then just overplay their hands. I just want to see them slow down just a little bit and make a bit of better decisions at that point in time. But there is a nice gun round setup, and I must say the T's mid control so far has been exceedingly good. Even on the saves, they've been able to pretty much take all the way through to the window area.
I agree with you completely. The mid control's been on point for critical 5 so far in the early stages of this half. Let's see if that's going to be the theme as we continue. Mist happy to sit back in the bomb sites, give up mid control, and then contend with critical 5 as they make their way in towards the bomb sites. And Guaf, he could catch the timing here, looking to come through the sniper's window, but he drops off the ledge, which gives the audio cue away, allowing K to prepare himself for that push to come through. So now the one-man advantage goes the way of Mist. Critical 5 looking to try and engineer a way into the same bomb site. And K gets caught off by Clouds. That's a player coming through Palace, if I'm not mistaken. Nice frag from him. Blue also finds a kill. Blue doubles up as he takes down Windows. And he's not done there just yet either. He wants to try and find the rotator coming out of that B bomb site. Nice shot there from Vaynan to take down G-Spots. And now it's all left on QWERTY in the 1 versus 3 clutch. Nice and clean coming out of critical 5 once they've got the weapons in their hands here in this round.
Yeah, and really good sort of a recount of the last round, knowing that Tweaks is going to be underneath there looking for the ramp player, or in the under palace area at least.
Yeah.
So they pushed through connector and rather hit him from there. He you know, obviously he wasn't quite expecting it. Is QWERTY going for this? Hold on, hold the phone. I don't think this is wise. Ooh, he gets blue on the rotate, which is nice. Yeah. It's one less gun.
And that should allow him to actually get out in time. You can see that Cloudy is already preparing to try and catch him towards the B bomb site, but I'm not sure if that's going to be happening. He's going to be content to just sit outside the market door here. So he will save his AK at least and inflict a bit more economic damage to critical 5 than what was originally done. But critical 5 level things up. They get back to winning ways once they get the weapons in their hands. And a nice clean round from them. As you said, the middle control was on point, and that's been something we've seen quite consistently from them throughout this half so far. Let's see if that's going to be the plan going into this anti-eco.
Yeah, and that adaptation to the CSGO positioning was just really good. Blue was like, I got this. I know exactly where these two guys are. Runs out, smashes Tweaks, and then flicks around for another one into window. And as I say that, Tweaks just puts one down in Palace, which is a nice little push out from him. So they're now recountering the recounter. How many counters can you get? Tweet says 2, and he picks up Guaf as well. So now a 3v5 going the way of Mist. This back and forth CS is it's quite back and forth, Matt.
It's a drug, Reese. It's an absolute drug. Gets you going like none other. Back and forth Counter-Strike. I don't know. Maybe. 3 versus 5 for Critical 5. It did start off as an anti-eco, but things have gotten fairly awkward for them. They've got a smoke, a flash, a molly, and an HE grenade left at their disposal to try and get this round across the line. We saw them drop a number of anti-eco rounds on Dust 2. And it looks like we might see something similar here once again. Courtesy of Tweaks, who's already found a nice double kill in the round. As you said, pushing Palace, getting aggressive, finding the AK, repositioning, and then he took down Guaf and Connector. Although his
now look at his positioning on Rem.
Yeah,
he's so set up here.
He's going to go down. Trade comes through from Blue, and now he's going to be starting to surge on towards the, say, bomb site. The jig is up. Mist start realizing exactly what's going on, and they're trying to rotate to get in position. But Mist are just, they're all around this bomb site right now. This is so tough for Critical 5. I don't even know how they're going to be securing a bomb plant at the bare minimum. Windows goes down, but Vaynant, somehow he gets the 180s. He 180s again, and he takes down K. He leaves Blue in the 1 versus 1 clutch, but Vaynant's already done so much work, bringing it back into the 1v1. How on earth has it gotten to this point? QWERTY desperately looking around to try and figure out exactly where Blue's gotten. Blue wants to hold the angle. He wants to take the fight. He's now given his position away. The bomb's not planted directly for him either, so he might get baited out here by a fake defuse. QWERTY's going to be sticking it. Blue comes around the corner. He tries to bait him and ends up committing, and Critical 5 win the round. A 2 versus 4 in which they had absolutely no right winning. Somehow they get across the line. Vaynant, you are cracked, my man.
He just went absolutely berserk. He gets 2 180 headshots, decimating the CTs. I was kind of disappointed that the secondary man in CT didn't try to trade when he turned around towards Connector. He kind of just stutter step there, and that let Vaynant get another 180 headshot on him. If he had taken him down there, it would have been a 2v1 situation instead. And unfortunately for them, or very fortunately for Critical 5, Vaynant's accuracy is not to be messed with. It's what we sort of saw, well, actually what we saw a lot of in the last map. He had a bit of a slower start here, but now it seems he's right back at it. He's back into that flow state and just decimates the CT retake. Like you say, they had no business winning that round at that point in time, and Vaynant's like, well, I beg to differ.
And what a massive relief for his team as well that they don't drop another anti-eco Reese. That would have just left them in such a challenging position, considering 100%. They had so much going their way. So he bails them out completely. Now it's another eco round. Mist having to double eco here.
Now look, they've got big money for the next round though. If you see the 3,900 on Tweaks, it does mean that they are going to be able to AWP up, which will help a lot with the mid issues that they are having. They'll be able to maybe one-way smoke from Con and set up for those cat pushes so they can get a frag or two, which will put them in a much better position than they have been in. But Vaynant just carrying on. He says, no, I'm not going to let you even consider doing such things. I'm going to start putting you down. Guaf chimes in with one of his own. Windows gets one, but Blue puts him down. Cloudser picks up the 4th, which now means that QWERTY in a 1-4.
This was so much cleaner from Critical 5 and the anti-eco. Notice how they stick together this time. They weren't isolated and like individually pushing around the map at all. We saw in the previous anti-eco, there was like one towards Palace and then like one guy posted in Connector by himself. And Mist were able to isolate those players and pick them off, and that's how it got awkward in the 3v5. This time, Critical 5, they just group up together and they make sure they trade one another. They keep it really simple. They recognize they've got far superior weaponry and they play into the strengths of those weapons. So great job by Critical 5. Back into another full gun round. We go no AWP on the table for Mist, I will say. Rifles are plenty, and it seems like Critical 5 are going to be going back to the bread and butter of Mirage, the A execute.
A nice, much more methodical play coming through Palace. Obviously, once bitten and twice shy in this instance. So they're looking not to get caught out by a Tweaks push. Tweaks in an interesting spot. If that smoke clears at the wrong time, he's going to be have some bullets with interest. But here comes the execute. The util is out. Do they get the smokes that they need to is the real question. We're going to find out here in a few seconds. The K gets some damage in, takes a little bit for his time. Vaynant put on half HP. He has been the danger man generally. Guaf comes out of Palace with a dominant showing, takes down Tweaks. Now they've pushed right through onto the side. Desert also manages to pick up one. K looking the wrong way, but he turns around at the right time, manages to pick up Vaynant. He gets a second towards Firebox. So now there's only one man on site with a huge flank needed to come in from Deza with a 3-on-2 in the favor of Mist. This does look like it could be their round. They only have 2 flashes to work with, but only 1 flash again on the side.
Oh my god!
Huge coming from the flank. There's you absolute mad lad. QWERTY now in a 1-on-2.
Oh my
There's one man
God.
towards ramp. He's got to tap. They can't quite see the bomb here from connector, so this is almost irrelevant with this. He's going to peek out, and Dez is going to take his head off.
What is going on right now? Like, that was just crazy. I thought Mist had that round dead to rights. Deezer was in such an awkward situation. He wants to rotate out of lowers all the way back towards T ramp because he knows Mist know where he is. And if he can rotate across and come out of ramp, there's no ways they're going to anticipate that. But all of his teammates end up dying on the bomb site, so now he has to change up his plan. He ends up going back to connector anyway, so it's like that whole rotate down out of lowers through TV room back mid. It has no effect at all because he ends up in the same place. But fortunately for him, they don't expect him to peak at the moment he does. And it was just sublime timing from him. Now Critical 5 have earned themselves another anti-eco round, but my goodness, they've bailed themselves out of some dicey situations on this map already.
Yeah, no, that was another one where you're just like, how does Crit 5 win this? You know, there's 3v1 on the bomb site. One of their guys is really far away. They win it by hitting a flank on Cats, which is just sick. I mean, there's a Deezer, sorry, I'm probably saying that incorrectly, but yeah, they're pushing on to B. It is a 3v2, or actually it's a 3v3 on the side. They managed to get some good damage in. Does Mist, he picks himself up 2 headshots with the 5-7. Now it's just Deezer left in a 1v3, and the anti-eco, they pull it back.
Yeah, that's sacrilege for Critical 5. Again, it just seems like it's a bit isolated from there in their anti-eco rounds. They've got like the 3-1-1 split going on around the map, and those 2 individual players are being taken down. And there's just like no trade opportunity, and they're not taking any map control as a result. So Critical 5 desperately need to reevaluate the way that they approach their anti-eco rounds. They're making it too tough for themselves, and we've seen when they keep things simple how much better it looks. The airstrike going to come through in middle, and unfortunately the first nade is way ahead of the rest, so the snipers player gets the indication nice and early. And that's K, who's done a pretty good job towards that window so far, shutting down the roots coming through, but he just completely over peaks there. Not necessary for him to take that fight, and he gives his life up. Yes, he does get his second kill before he goes down, but I would argue that it's not worth it. Already you've got the 1-man advantage, and now you've given a potential AK away as well, if they can salvage that AK in window.
QWERTY got himself into a nice position ahead of that, though. I mean, he's going to be able to clear mid and send back the info and say, guys, they're not here. They're obviously reflanking somewhere. So CT is not too thinly spread. It is nice, as you've noted, though, to have the 5th player available. It's one extra set of eyes, ears, and a gun, which you have on deck. But I think with the T's not really having armor, only Deza having some armor, or Deezer. I keep doing that. Sorry.
That's okay,
sorry, Deezer. Apologize in advance. But the man that they've got to peek here is Tweaks, and he has an AK, which renders that head armor absolutely useless. So we're gonna see how they burst out of here. Tweaks isn't in the greatest position for that burst. So here it comes now. They are going to be pushing out. He hears the sound cue. Cloud just rips his head off and secures the A bomb site simultaneously. All 3 of them are going to be sitting behind there. This could be a huge nade. Absolutely massive. Windosh, you just did the Kobe, the Chicago Bulls and the Lakers nade all in one. That landed in their earlobes, literally.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think they're going to start with less health in the second round because of how much damage that nade did. Oh.
It was nasty, man.
Yeah. No, I felt that one. Like, that one went through my bones. I even felt that one. 5-6, yeah, Mist. Starting to string a couple rounds together on the CT side. Again, though, they are without the AWP. And this seems to be a theme for Mist, that they don't pick up the AWP as often as they possibly can. Very situationally, only do we see them choosing to pick up that gun. So that's interesting. Guap, he has the AWP and he's already towards B apartments. Something we see AWPers liking to do on the T side. When you get there nice and early, you just post the angle. And it's another default coming out of Critical 5 where they're just taking full mid control. So this is Mist's game plan. They just don't contest mid. They've got rifles across the board, and then they just lock down the choke points. They lock down Cat, Connector, and Sniper's window. And that's where they want to take their fights. They don't want to be putting any stock in middle. And it's cost them a few times, but I will say they are playing it correctly when you are going to be having this school of thought and this sort of approach. Kay is doing a very good job right now, the way that he's just covering both Snipers and Connector. And Critical 5, well, they've taken mid control, and it looks like now they're going to be going back towards the B bomb site, or could even go all the way through TV room, collect the bomb, and go A. Options are plenty right now. Util, not so much. 3 flashes, a smoke, a molly, and an HE grenade. And only a smoke and a couple flashes for Mist as well, so it's going to come down to the brawls and the gunfights. And Mist have got 3 players in this B bomb site right now, Reese. They've got the read of the century on the cards. Fully prepared for this execute to come through once it does.
See, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Cloud is probably going to push simultaneously with them, but no, he's not. And they drop the bomb in the midst of that, which is the less than ideal. Okay, he's got a nice bait position set up here. He picks up the second last man.
What a shot! That's such a big frag. If he goes down there, that's round over. Critical 5 are done and dusted, but he lands the shot, and that leaves Windows in the 1 versus 2. And he has no choice but to save. It seems like he's already accepted his fate and committed to the choice. My God, how on earth do Mist lose control of that B bomb site? That's so frustrating as well. You make the read, you have all the players in position, you find the opening kill, but still somehow Critical 5 are able to force the issue. They didn't even account for K in the corner by a broken wall. The player with the bomb just jumped straight out of window, wanted to commit to the plant. K got that frag, and still somehow Critical 5 get the job done. I'm tipping my hat to them right now, because that was a very well-worked round, all things considered.
Just as a counterpoint to that, you know, he's got in the position there. Sure, he downs the bomb, but you know that the last player is on AWP. The repeak was perhaps foolhardy, and Guaf just ready there on the angle, picks it up and says, okay, if you want to throw the round away, I'm willing to take it off of you. And that's exactly what they do.
Absolutely. 5-7 here. Both of these teams pretty much using all the money they have in reserves to buy up in this round. So whoever wins this is going to gain a nice little grip on the economic battle. AWP in the hands of QWERTY this time around, and he's got that towards the B bomb sites. In fact, all the way on Broken Wall watching connectors, that's a very, very passive way to use the AWP on this map. You're pretty much only going to have an impact if they come through Catwalk. I'm not sure about this decision. Like, this just seems a little bit too safe and a bit too passive. Anyway, let's see how Mist make it work. This has been the theme of their defense. They want to just sit back. They want to welcome Critical 5 into the bomb site through the choke points. They don't want to waste any time fighting and contending middle. And Critical 5, they're going to be grouping up towards the B bomb site. Once again, it worked for them in the previous round. Let's see if they can make it work again. You've got G-Spot in the corner on top of the platform. And then you've got QWERTY with that AWP towards Broken Wall. How much work can G-Spot get done? He's smoked off. Do Critical 5 consider this? It doesn't seem like they are. Now that QWERTY gets a kill, they're going to be focusing entirely on him. Now G-Spot's able to activate. He finds a double. And K comes through with the frag of his own. Finally, Mist are able to get the defense solidified on that B bomb site. Guaf left with no choice but to save his AWP. And that's a big round for Mist to win, because it just keeps them in this hunt right now. Keeps them in the game. Economically speaking, they're in a much better position now than what Critical 5 are.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that patience from G-Spot, getting that good info as well. He's like, hey guys, there's a bunch of folks pushing through the smoke. There's not too many coming past me, so check window. K manages to look in that direction at the right time. QWERTY does get baited out perhaps a little bit, but to the effect that G-Spot picks up 2 kills for free, and that completely shuts down the push and has made Guaf into the Jane.
Yeah. No choice but to save the AWP, and at least he's successfully going to be able to take it into the next round. I don't think that Critical 5 will be buying up around this, though. He has a nice mid spawn, so maybe look to try and find an early pick there. Mist haven't been contesting middle too often. Otherwise, I'm calling everybody just pick up the smokes and we go for the decent A exec here. The basic A exec. Smoke, stairs, CT, and jungle. and try and work the A site, but it seems like instead they're just going to be going for a full palace rush, or they're just going to continue holding W the whole way forward. This is actually the perfect strat right now. There's nobody here from Mist. K is the first player to come through, and he's going to get taken down by the AWP. Oh my god, Reese, don't tell me that this is how Mist are going to be losing the round. Fortunately for them, Tweaks has been able to get a kill, and he brings Deezer down very low, secures that frag, and they're going to be mollying off. No, the molly misses. That could be a very costly miss. Smoke does still come through though. Guaf, he knows he has to have an impact. He can't just leave his pistol players here to their own devices. He wants to try and get in on the action, but unfortunately he can't. Blue's been taken down, and that means that it is now the AWP left in the 1 versus 2, and he's going to just save the weapon. He's made the decision already off the bat that the bomb's not planted for him, so he's not going to be wasting his time and giving his potential life away. 7-7.
That waterfall looked really good for a moment, I have to say, especially when Guaf picked up that first kill. They almost didn't do enough pushing with it. I feel like if the man Cloud who was on site had carried on into CT and tucked himself in there behind the barrels, it would have created a really nice crossfire setup where the CTs would have their attention split between there and ramp, literally have to walk in between them and the AWP, and Guaf can then just get some picks. So the initial part of that execution was looking really, really good. They just needed to follow through a little bit more, and I think they actually would have got that round, but Mist able to then just shove onto that site, get the kills, make sure that they secure the bomb site, and take back that round.
Yeah, winner of this round is going to secure themselves an advantage heading into the second half as well. Nice little mental check that they could find. Bit of mental high ground. And Critical 5, they're just going to be going for the stock standard A executor, something we barely see them utilize throughout this half, and that's just purely because they've been putting most of their stock towards middle, and now they are going to be going for this A exec util, raining in as Tweaks underneath the palace, tasked with trying to keep control of the bomb site for his team. Windows takes some of the heat off of him as he finds a kill. Now Tweaks has been found out. He's able to find a double before he finally gets traded out, but so much damage has been done. It's already a 2 versus 4. And Critical 5, they haven't been able to maximize these smokes that they put down either. In fact, the smoke's going to dissipate. No, the bomb gets across just in time, and Guaf, he lands a fantastic shot. Oh my god, Clouds deletes K from the server. They fake the plant once again. They desperately want Windows to peek. Yeah, Guaf is still holding the angle towards CT, and Guaf is going to find the frag onto Windows. Finally, G-Spot's able to activate. He does take down Clouds, but Guaf, he's not missing any of his shots right now. 3 shots fired from that default position. 3 frags were found, and that is the 8th round done and dusted for Critical 5.
Guaf just, even at the end there, you can just see the composure. He's like, I don't have to re-peak right now. Let me get ready, get myself into the channel, into the groove, and then hit the peak. And he just hits the shot, winning them the round again. Like you say, picks up 3. It didn't hurt that his teammate, like you said, absolutely deleted the Mist player towards the jungle area. That definitely didn't hurt their chances.
Clouds, bro. What a shot. Man.
What a shot. It was so
that's what I call sexy, dude. Yeah.
Definitely. That got me hot under the collar, let me tell you. But now,
are you saying they found your G spot? Sorry, I've been waiting for that one. I've been waiting for that one. When you've got a player with the name G spot on the server, you can't not make that joke at least once. He hasn't found the G spot. He's 6-13 right now. He's struggling at the moment. He needs to find his mojo a little bit more. 7H as we head into the second pistol round. I think Critical 5 have won all 3 pistol rounds so far. That they picked up both the pistol rounds on Dust. They won the pistol round on their T side as well. Let's see if Mist can buck that trend as they take middle control of their own. They've got 5 flashes here into smoke. Lots of flashes. I wonder how they're going to be using all these flashes just to systematically clear out map control, I suppose. They have been able to force Critical 5 back here, looking to just try and overwhelm them completely. Deezer's able to pick up 2. He might be isolated here. No, he lands a 3rd shot, and he's just doing so much damage right now. K might get taken down as well, and he does. It's Guaf, the criminal from the first half, to be the criminal in the second half as well. And Critical 5, 4-4 right now in the pistol rounds here in this best of 3, Reese.
You know what's so interesting? If you press tab, based on kills, you would suspect Mist to be ahead. But it just seems like Critical 5, with their teamwork-centric playstyle that they're showing us, are able to convert their kills are far more impactful because they're converting them into rounds at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking very well-rounded from Critical 5 right now, as they've just got one of the easier rounds they would have had in this entirety of the match. Or let me hold my horses before I speak too soon. I've been burnt before. That was shame on them. Burnt again. Shame on me. 4 versus 4 here. And Mist, they've also been able to get tweaks into snipers. And he's going to catch Guaf off here. Oh my god. Oh, Guaf, he thinks better of it. Oh, he's so lucky, but he's not out of the woods just yet. Not out of the woods just yet. Tweaks is desperately waiting and hoping it. Oh, that is so unfortunate. I feel so bad for him, man. K's going to go down as well. And it's just G-Spot left for the P250. Can you imagine how Tweaks' eyes lit up as he saw the gun barrel coming around the corner? And then Guap's like, okay, wait. Let me just chill.
Yeah. I don't know what's gone through that smoke. It's like, he's sort of brain processing there, and then he sort of just, tucks out the side there. Tweaks must have been hard chatted.
He's molding, like, bro. Yeah.
But man,
that's unfortunate.
So teamwork orientated, and it's starting to turn into like really good momentum for them. There is a buy round now though from our Mist fellas, but they are short a little bit of util. Even at the start of the round, a lot of their players don't have flashes, don't have nades. They aren't going to be able to shove the CTs quite as hard as they'd like, but they do have better weaponry, which results in Vaynon going down perhaps with a little bit of a foolish overplay there in lowers. He had a good position for info. He could have just waited it out, but decides rather to try and sneak up behind them. But there is a man waiting, and it is the Windows 10 who is the man waiting and just takes his head off. So now CT's in a 4v5, perhaps a little bit outgunned. That util might not even be a factor.
I'm just trying to figure out how we say this guy's name, Reese. Is it Deza? Is it Deza? I don't even know. What I do know is it's hazed backwards. But, I mean, who knows what we should be calling him by, right? Regardless, this is a very nice round that Mist find themselves in right now with the 2-man advantage. And they've also figured out Blue's positioning. But he's still just spraying away. He takes down a player. Deez also finds a frag. And all of a sudden, this has come into a 2 versus 2 as Windows does find Clouds. Fortunately for Mist, they do know where the remaining 2 players are for Critical 5, but time is dwindling. There's only 23 seconds left on the clock here, and Windows, is he going towards CT? He is indeed. He's wrapping all the way around. And K wants to try and isolate Blue here and take the fight, but you can see Blue, his spidey senses start tingling, but K is taking the attention. It's a beautiful bait and switch coming through right now. K takes all the attention, and Deza will be isolated, meaning that the bomb's going to be coming through here, or the bomb plant rather. So it is Deza, from what I understand. Now the information I've got, the Deza in the 1 versus 2 will be taken down. You were saying it correctly all along, Reese, basically.
I'm so amped right now. It's Deza with the Beza. He comes in with a nice flank to support Blue. Blue doing huge work there from the ticket position. I'm not sure if Mist knows that you can actually shoot through that though, because he was sitting in this, default position in the corner, and there was no spam in his general direction. So a bit of a misplay from them, but inevitably it doesn't actually matter, because they do then manage to pick up the round, which, if I'm not mistaken, yes, is their first for this half. So while Critical 5 got off to a very good start, they do get disrupted, and I think it's just because they were outgunned. They didn't purchase the right guns for that round, to be quite honest. Maybe overbuying. There is a push coming through from ramp, but
nice.
K just shuts that down immediately. So now they have a 2-player advantage. I just kind of want to see them now group up and swirl towards a site. Tweak gets another kill on Blue and Lows, which isn't going to hurt, and he gets a second one on Cloud as well. So now it is Poor. Who is it actually there? Deza. It is Deza. We've said his name correctly the entire time, and he's a bit stuck.
Like I said though, his name is hazed backwards, so I'm kind of compelled to call him hazed even though.
What? How would you do
used to have
phonetically backwards?
Eza.
No, but like phonetically, because it's hazed. You don't say hazed, so it would be Deza.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not arguing that that's the enunciation. I'm just saying his name is Hayes.
100%, man.
Anyway, I mean, because we got an Eek around, we can divulge a little bit. We used to have Nate from, he was like in NRG when he had that name. now known as Ethan. He it was like Ethan backwards, so his name was Nate,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
now he just has it as Ethan. So there's been a couple of scenarios where that's been the case. Double savior for Critical 5, Desert Eagles across the board this time around, and nice and passive from Mist right now. You can see just the way that they cast the net across the map, and they wait for any of the aggression to come through from Critical 5. They punish it, and then they work their way into some sort of an execute. So they don't commit before they've got some sort of an advantage to work off of.
And it's so close to being, well, basically at the end of this round, which it does look like, unless, you know, Desert does something absolutely mad with this Deeg, it's probably going to go the way of Mist, as it does. Tweaks picks off the last kill, gets himself a tidy little headshot for his time. Much better this time from him. He was very under the struggle, under the yoke of pressure, it seems, at the last map. Perhaps Mist has settled now, because, I mean, this is, well, who's to say? Because honestly, if you press tab, this half and the first half have started the exact same way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point you pick up. I wonder if we're going to be seeing that trend continue and Critical 5 now pick up a round. They do have a full buy at their disposal. In fact, I'm pretty sure that this is the first full buy we've had of the second half, where both teams have had rifles across the board, and the CTs have had their AWP as well. Vaynant picking that up as soon as he possibly could. It's the glass cannon AWP as well, just to note. So let's see if Mist can win this round, Reese. They're going to be putting themselves ahead for the first time in what feels like forever. And that's going to be a nice mental high ground for them to claim. Just be feeling a bit better about themselves, where if they lose this gun round, it's back to the grind.
They do go back with a considerable bank, though. They've been doing it quite cleanly. Ooh, a near shot there by Guaf. He does get the worst of the trade. And Queti just a little bit more HP than him, but the AWP is a one-shot kill, so 100 HP even on a player versus an AWP is not an issue generally. So I'd say Guaf is now he's one shot from the rifle. It's a one shot. He's a 50-50, but there is another AWP in the form of Vaynant, who was absolutely dominant in the last one. But here comes the shove. They are going to go through to the A side. Blue is in position to pick himself one up coming out of Palace. Now there are two on the Tetris area. Queti is quite low. They are going to molly him.
Oh no.
He decides to spray inside of the molly, which was a good idea because he picks himself up another kill. It's a 3v4, but now Vaynant overextend. Windows picks up one. Can get a second, and it's only going to be Deza on this back end to receive, and he's going to get taken down. Now Mist in a 3-on-1. He has spotted the gun, so he's got the info. They know that he's over there. It's Clouds. The flash comes through, but the bomb gets dropped. Puts himself in a bit of a better position. Doesn't take any damage for his trouble as well, which is very good news for him. But now the nade is going to land. It's actually going to go past. And so he's on the right side of the smoke. I like this position. Does give him some really cool options. He's going to pick up windows as well. But now it's G-Spot in a 1-on-1. Does he tap through the smoke? No, he decides to keep his position of mystery.
He's in G-Spot's head, ready free right now, but G-Spot's making his way forward, has no idea where Cloudsy is. He comes around the corner, just in time, but Cloudsy lands a headshot. It's the 1 versus 3 clutch. He barely moves a muscle. Reese gets himself in the corner. He throws the molly with left click. He pulls the smoke out, barely moves. He drops the smoke with right click, and then he just holds his ground. He sprays down windows through the smoke, and then he completes the 1 versus 1 against G-Spot. Absolutely mad scenes developing in front of our eyes right now. That was a 1v3 that Mist should absolutely have won, and they end up losing. Nick, you asked for the 1v3 and you received it.
Why not even go B? You know he's in CT. You've got connector control. You could easily run through pretty much anywhere. Do the jump onto short. Do the jump, into the window room itself, into ladder room, etc. You've got options. Why are you still fighting into this player? Is my first question. And my other question is, Cloud, how did you do that, bro? You just stood there and delivered, and we're like, no, I'm not moving. I'm gonna go back into the smoke again. Watch, it's gonna work a third time, and it does.
I just love that he doesn't doubt himself. He commits to the decision to stay exactly where he is. You could see that G-Spot was almost certain he had pushed through the smoke and he was wrapping around the bomb site. But Clouds has either got like balls of steel or just the craziest nerves I've ever seen. Either way, dude, that was a big clutch. Now we're going to be seeing Critical 5 ahead by a round once again. And it looks like they're trying to force mid control here. But you can see Mids are ready for it.
Just to let you know, he had jungle oats.
That's good one from spinach. Maybe like spinach and jungle oats, dude.
Twice the iron, twice the fun.
Oh,
Oh,
Guaf
no.
opened things up with his AWP as well. It's not the best buy Critical 5 have right now. They didn't have much money coming into this round. They got a couple of FAMASs, an MP9 and an M4, so starting off proceedings with that opening kill certainly does alleviate a bit of the pressure. And it seems like Mist might end up leaning towards this B bomb site.
My hands are still in my head from Cloud. I actually can't. I'm a bit done now. Like that's just wow. I can't imagine what's going through Mist's head, but they're gonna have to focus up into this round. They do have a nice B push coming through here. They are gonna get spotted out by Cloud. He's just gonna back off and get the easy kill onto K. So now there's only 3 that are going to be pushing through. They're also pushing into waiting barrels that are pointed right at them. So this doesn't look like the best idea, to be quite honest. Windows is going to pick one up, but he's going to get triple dinked through the wall by the MP9. And he's just in a really bad position at the moment. Vaynard's going to clean him up.
You get a crossfire of death, and then you get that crossfire, which is like 1 level higher than a crossfire of death. Like, I don't even know how you push out of the B apartments when there's so many players watching the angle. Like, that's just next level unfortunate. And yeah, I think Mist, they just took too long to commit to the execute. Critical 5 were able to rotate in time. And it's not even like they had any quick responders. The closest person was in jungle, and he still got into the bomb site before Mist got out of the apartment. So, a bit slow there to pull the trigger. They're going to have another full buy round here, though, courtesy of the round loss bonus.
And it's almost as if they were in fear, right? One nice Vaynard picks up the palace kill, so there's good information coming through from him. Perhaps he got by their assumption, he could have got the lurker, but it looked like fear that had sort of gripped them after the last round. You know, the Clouds of move may have gotten into their heads.
Yeah,
and it's not a good time for that when you're 12 down.
Yeah. Not many teams can sustain a 1v3 loss, Reese. It's a very tough mental hill to try and climb and get over. Tough pill to swallow, if you will. K, going to be able to commit to the spray and take down Blue. That is very overzealous and unnecessary from Critical 5 to be trying to make that sort of a play. You're already ahead 5 versus 3. It's a round where you don't have that much money left in the bank. It's of utmost importance that as many people stay alive as you possibly can. And Vaynard immediately gets caught off guard as well. Tweaks will take down Clownsy, goes back towards the A site, and Vaynard lies in wait. Critical 5 all of a sudden have ended up in quite an awkward position where they could actually end up losing this round. And like I said, making that play towards A ramp completely unnecessary from them.
100%.
Let's see if they can. Yeah, let's see if it's going to be costing them in the long run or not. Seems like Critical 5 are certain it's going to be a B execute. Now they get the information as K rears his head towards Palace. Vaynard doesn't need to do anything aside from stay alive here. Again, he overextends as well. Missed shot from Guaf means that this round is turned into a very doable one for Mist. In the 2 versus 2, get back into some semi-decent post-plant positions as well. And G-Spot just looking to stay alive here. Doesn't want to take any unnecessary fights. D's are waiting, or Dez are rather waiting for Guaf to come through from CT. They've got a smoke and a flash to aid their cause, but time is ticking. Guaf with the kit as well, but he's going to be left in the clutch. As he's down to a 1v2 after he lost his teammate, he's able to land the first quick shots onto K. He's spotted out G-Spot as well, slowly making his way forward. He's got a little bit of time here. He lands the no-scope. Reese, he's got the defuse as well. He's got it. What a cool, calm, and collected clutch master he is. My God, another clutch going the way of Critical 5. That is heartbreaking.
Are all of these guys Zipnix? Zipnix comes back and suddenly we've got a bunch of clutch ministers on the server. I actually can't even believe. Like, I think it once again, though, G-Spot just sort of got frozen there. He couldn't, shoulder peek, do info, make noise, anything. It was like he just got stage fright suddenly in that moment that he got into that one-on-one position. And I definitely think nerves are starting to creep into the Mist team, which is it's the worst possible time that it could happen. You're facing a match and game point in 3 rounds. Guys, got to pull it together. I think they really need to do attack pause and get their heads back in the game here.
Oh, Vaynard is so lucky that he gets out of that alive. He should absolutely should have been taken down there. Mist, they need to, it's becoming do or die right now, Reese. They need to actually start winning these rounds. They've been getting close, which means they've definitely kept Critical 5's economy in check. You can see that by the fact that there's still a FAMAS on the table and they don't even have that much util left, even though there's still over a minute left on the server. And that means that Mist have been finding the frags in the rounds they've been losing, but they haven't been able to capitalize on that by winning consecutive rounds and therefore breaking the back of Critical 5's economy. And we're going to be seeing Guelph opening things up for his team once again with that orb, taking down K. And that makes things awkward for Mist now, Reese. Look at the bomb. It's all the way in T-spawn, and all four players are coming through connector. Nobody is able to pick it up immediately, so they're going to have to first fight their way onto the A bomb side and then send somebody on a mission to receive the bomb. Guelph is going to get aggressive. He actually lands a shot on the player behind Windage, and he gets taken down. Deza still in the bomb site as well, locking things down. Tweaks has no choice but to go for the 1v2 here and try and take the fights, and he ends up walking into Vaynan's crosshair. 14-10, Critical 5 are putting on a show right now.
100%, man, and that marks 4 rounds in a row for them. So it's so spooky because it's almost the exact repeat of map 1. It's almost like a Mist hits like a fatigue point and they just sort of fumble and start making a bit of careless mistakes. And the thing with Critical 5 is they're almost like, I would say, Iceman from Top Gun. Sick play from Vayner. Yeah, nice movement out of the window to get that. But they're doing this kind of thing where they turn into this beast where if you make a mistake, they're there to capitalize on it and take advantage of that. And it's now showing on the scoreboard 14-10, 2 more rounds. You're on a save on your potential, map point sort of round just before that. This is a really tough position for Mist right now.
Yeah, they're going to have to save and allow Critical 5 to get to match points unless something magical can be pulled out of the bag right now. Windage does get the round off to a good start, all things considered. Able to pick up one with that Galil. He's the only player with some sort of firepower behind him right now. The rest of them have Desert Eagles. And it looks like he's going to try and fake towards this B bomb site, but Critical 5, they're not taking the bait right now, Reese. They're happy to just sit and wait, and I really appreciate this discipline coming out of them right now, this maturity, not to over-rotate. Even though they lost a player towards B, they're just covering the choke points and making sure that they stick to concrete information before they make any decisions. Oh, and now that information is going to be coming through towards the B bomb site. Deza is going to be calling for the rotations as he hears the footsteps. Vayner finds a frag, and that takes all the heat off of Deza right now. So he can just play the patient game. He decides to take up the first player he can, and that's 15-10. Critical 5 with the clean anti-eco round. They get themselves onto match point, Reese, and this is such a big position they find themselves in right now. Remember, this is a double elimination format event, which means that the winner of this progresses in the upper bracket, and the loser is dropped down to the lower bracket. Essentially, winning this game secures you one further position in the grand scheme of things when it comes to the placements at the end of the day. One step closer to reaching some of that juicy prize money. 50,000 Rand on the line here in the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event. And we have got matches every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 in the evening for the next 7 weeks, guys. So make sure you join us for this fantastic journey. Sponsored by Intel, hosted by Evesports. We are back into the game. 15-10 clouds there on the angle. He gets the spray down. He finds 1, 2, 3. Checking my counting skills. He nearly completes the 4th, but he does eventually get traded up. But the damage has been done. Deza, the first responders, already in position. And now it's all left on Tweaks for the 1 versus 3 clutch to try and keep his team in the hunt here on Mirage. Or are we going to be seeing Critical 5 surging through this upper bracket? Frantically trying to find one of these AWPers, but he misses his shots. Guaf picks out. He doesn't miss any of his shots. And that is the match done and dusted. Critical 5 pick it up 2-0.
Wow, just absolutely incredible sort of back-to-back maps that are almost carbon copies of each other in a lot of ways. They started literally, I mean, the halves looked identical at the start of them, regardless of which side the teams were on. The guys just sort of, it's like I think it is on point with what I said, that Mist got like a fatigue into them. It got into their head, some of the clutches, and they just started to fall off, started to make worse and worse decisions. Even when they got, a free pick from lowers there, they just held W, even though the information has come through to the CTs, instead of re-spreading themselves out, perhaps leave one lurker in B and then group your 4 and take them elsewhere. And then Cloud is like, well, I'm already in position, right? They push into him. He gets the 3-man spray down, almost the 4th, as you noted, does massive amounts of damage to them. And there's just no coming back from that. And it was just round after round at the end there that just proceeded in that manner. They had time even, and were forcing issues that they didn't need to. I feel a little bit sorry for Mist because, well, I think it's safe to say the same for both sides. There was rounds lost and won that shouldn't have been lost or won on either side in those setups. But Critical 5 teamwork coming into the forefront, really good teamwork from them, trading work, information delivery, really good mid-round calls as well from their RGL. All around, I have to say the best team won though. Critical 5 clutch power and the teamwork was just off the charts.
Yeah. Critical 5 made it tough for themselves, though. I will say that. They should have won that game cleaner than what they did, especially on Dust 2. I think I counted 3 rounds, like anti-eco rounds and rounds that they just had all the advantages in the world that they weren't able to close out. So coming into the rest of these matches in the upper brackets, coming up against better opposition, Critical 5 can absolutely not afford to be losing those sorts of situations. If they're going to be going toe-to-toe with teams who are supposedly like ranked higher than them, they can't be losing those anti-ecos. So they need to just make sure that they don't end up in those awkward situations and get isolated. That's the one thing I will say. But their teamwork was on point, and you could see that they were working nicely together. The structure was there. I really like their retakes, in particular on the CT side of Dust as well. I really like seeing teams just keep things simple in their retakes, because too often teams want to be super. Either they don't pay any attention to their retakes, and it's just like everybody sort of tries to do something to get onto the bomb side, or they make it way too complex. They completely overcomplicate it, and they just try and like do the most crazy strats ever on the retakes. They were just like, well, cool, we're just going to group up with all 5 players, throw 2 flashbangs, and then but just trade each other out, which is actually just like the most basic but still effective way to work it. So that was map 1 done and dusted. They won that 16-13, got super close, but Mist unfortunately weren't able to take it any further. We then went into Mirage, which was Critical 5's map pick, and they sort of always looked in control on Mirage. I would say they were always ahead of the game. Mist, with a few moments where I probably would have liked to have seen them change things up on their CT side a little bit. I think they became very predictable with their defense, where they were just sort of turtling in the A bomb side and the B bomb side and holding off in middle. They weren't at all changing things up and like looking to get aggressive in middle. And you could see Critical 5, they started taking mid with less and less util, realizing that it was basically being given to them. So I would have liked to have seen Mist maybe changing things up. In the end, they're not able to get the job done. Critical 5 win Mirage 16-10, and that's the series done and dusted. 2-0. They progressed through the upper bracket. Mist get dropped down, and that is day 2 done and dusted of the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event. Reese, what are your final words? Give it to me.
Man, some sick 180s, some things that shouldn't have happened. A couple of moments where I was literally flailing my arms over my head at the shots and the plays. You know, I don't think, I think as well it's sort of critical to note like just how much clutch power there was on Critical 5, like, and how calm they all were. Their big match temperament really came to the front as well for me. You know, I that's why I think we are both in agreement that ultimately, though, the better team won. They kept it simple. They flowed really nicely. They took their time when they needed to. Like Mist was, they were like, even though the score says 16-13, you know, in Dust 2, they were that close. They were super close, but just fumbles and nerves, I think, was getting to them. But that's the whole beauty of tournament play, is getting that exposure, getting that experience. So even though they lost, I think they gained a lot of experience. They should definitely go back and watch the demo and tweak those things to make sure that they don't lose their second lifeline now in the losers bracket, and that they keep going on, perhaps even towards the top 8. You know, top 5 guys are getting some prize money as well, so it would be nice to, if they could obviously get themselves there. They're definitely in a not in the worst position ever to go through the losers bracket at the moment. I think it's going to be if you look at the winners bracket itself, I mean, you know, you've obviously got ATK, Energy, Goliath Gaming, like some really powered teams that the winners bracket guys are going to find in their 3rd and 4th round games. So yeah, look, my heart goes out to Mist on this one, but Critical 5 just brought the hammer, man, and the clutch power was really cool to see.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Reese. So that brings to an end of day 2 here in the Evesports EGL One 2020 main event. Have we selected our game for next week Tuesday yet? Or do you know if we've chosen a fixture yet to stream? Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. We're gonna wait for the bracket to finish. So to interrupt you.
Yeah.
We're just going to wait for all the round 1 games to be completed, which should be done this week, and then we will announce this one on Monday. We will be telling you who we'll have Tuesday and Thursday.
So follow the Evesports social media on Twitter at Evesports. You can follow myself at Hayes Castings. Would be much appreciated. I've nearly reached 800, so you can make me feel really good about myself because it's all about the amount of followers and likes you get. That totally is what makes you happy and gets like the serotonin and the dopamine pumping throughout your body. So just like make me happy. Go follow me on Twitter, and you can follow my it's shameless plug, not a care in the world. And you can follow my esteemed co-caster at Wookie XXL as well if you want to see the horrible things that he has to tweet. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for the entirety of the evening. It's been great to have you. My name's Hayes. I've been joined by Wookie XXL, and we will see you guys on Tuesday, same place, same time. It's going to be 7:30. Going to have a more amazing Counter-Strike on display. Hope to see you then. Until then, stay safe.